ESL's top story. Immigrant advocacy groups in Utah are pushing back against stepped-up immigration enforcement, launching a news sign campaign they say is about education, not confrontation. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is live to explain. Eric?
Maria, immigrant advocacy groups are rolling out new signs in storefronts across West Valley City and Salt Lake, signs that spell out workers' rights during immigration enforcement. Supporters say the signs don't block federal agents, but educate workers about what the law allows. Sarah Buck with Indivisible Utah says the message is simple.
And what it says is you are not allowed in the private spaces of our business without a warrant. In the public spaces, ICE can enter. What its intention and how people are using it now is kind of giving ICE a heads up. We know our rights.
Buck says the signs include QR codes with Know Your Rights info. She says some business owners are posting them as workers grow fearful of showing up. Live, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
The Utah immigrant who was arrested by ICE right before his green card interview is set to be released from ICE custody sometime in the next 24 hours.
An immigration judge has granted a $5,000 bond for Jair Solis, a Utah immigrant who's been in an ICE detention facility in Arizona for just over the last week. What that means is the judge is giving Solis a chance to get out of custody and return home to his wife and child here in Utah while his attorneys continue to work to resolve his case. Solis' attorney tells me if all goes according to plan, they're expecting him to be released as soon as today or by tomorrow at the latest after the bond payment's been processed. Given Solis has no criminal history, his attorney tells me he's confident Solis will get his green card approved once he's home. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
The Salt Lake City police say they are now investigating the suspicious death of 58-year-old Steve Callis as a homicide. Callis was found dead inside his RV in Sugar House Sunday morning. His sister, Tricia Davis, says he may have been homeless, but he was well loved in the community.
He may not have been rich, he may not have been famous, but he was a human being, and he deserves justice.
His family tells KSL the RV had bullet holes all over it, but police have not yet confirmed this or the cause of death. Police are waiting for autopsy results before announcing the official cause of death. Police say a man has violated his parole, burglarizing a Lehigh hospital along with several others in California. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
Arresting documents show between November 11th and the 26th, Jason Bronner snuck into the Holy Cross Mountain Point Hospital overnight and stole over $25,000 of medical equipment, including bone graft materials. He was able to get into several restricted areas where doors had been taped open. NBC Los Angeles reports he has taken over $100,000 worth of supplies from 3 separate hospitals there, selling supplies to other companies. Bronner is currently on probation for similar thefts at Heber Valley Hospital from 2023, where he worked as a service manager. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
A Cedar City property manager has been sentenced to 25 months in prison. Blake Cousins has also been fined over $2 million for defrauding multiple Iron County homeowners and HOAs, as well as a Las Vegas bank. Prosecuting Assistant U.S. Attorney Stephen Dent says he would cash fake checks for casino credits.
Obtaining cashier's checks, and then he would go down to Nevada and place those cashier's checks with the casinos, and he would get gambling credits, go and gamble in the casinos, and then go back to the bank and cancel the checks so that the casinos would not get paid.
Cousins also faces a slew of state charges that may keep him in jail for much longer. KSL's top national stories. The Brown University gunman is still on the loose 3 days later. Police shared new surveillance images of a person of interest after releasing the man they initially detained. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Despite no arrest being made, the mayor of Providence says students and residents should feel safe.
I understand why there is deep discomfort. However, we have a very safe community with a lot of law enforcement resources at our disposal right now.
Many private schools in the area have chosen to remain closed, but public schools are staying open with increased security.
One victim, 18-year-old Muhammad Aziz Umarizov, was remembered by his friend Vanessa Finder.
He was the kind of person who would laugh about his own quirks, and he taught me that it's okay to make fun of yourself. And honestly, I think it's made me much happier as a person. I've grown so much just from meeting him.
2 people died, 9 others were injured. First look traffic. Good afternoon, Ricky.
Good afternoon, Maria. Nice and quiet on the Valley freeways, and earlier delays both directions of Highway 189 Provo Canyon near Deer Creek have cleared. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:05.
Did you know 96% of Americans lose an average of $111,000 in Social Security income? And it's because they claim their benefits at the wrong time. Don't lose $111,000 in Social Security income that's rightfully yours. Learn how you could wring every nickel out of your benefits on Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL, News Radio 1027.
The Utah Mammoth and Smiths are teaming up to get you to the game with qualifying Smiths purchases. You can score single goal view tickets, hot dog and a bottle of water included for just $15. The catch? These tickets go fast. Download the Utah Mammoth app, enable push notifications, and be the first to know when new tickets are released. Shop at Smiths, then snag your seat for $15. Simple. Grab the Utah Mammoth app today and watch for the next release. Tusks up.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. Recapping our top story, immigrant advocacy groups are handing out signs to educate workers and businesses about their rights if ICE shows up. KSL News Time, 12:07. We do have some breaking news. A man with autism is missing out of Salt Lake City again just days after he was found. The mother of August Beckwith says he was discharged from the hospital yesterday after he had been missing for weeks. She says he has no shoes, no phone, no money, and wandered off near State Street and 2nd Avenue. August is nonverbal and is considered a vulnerable adult. We've had a warm December so far. KSL meteorologist Matt Johnson looked it over.
If we take the average temperature, which is the high and the low for every single day through the first 2 weeks of December, and average it out, that's how we get our average temperature through the first half of the month. The number one spot for the warmest first 2 weeks or start to December was December of 1889, when we hit 44.9 degrees. In 7th place right now is Salt Lake City, December 2025. This December, we're at 42.2 degrees. If we continue to hold this mild weather with highs in the 40s and 50s and overnight lows also mild in the 40s and 30s, we just could end the month in the top 3 warmest Decembers ever recorded by the end of the month.
Matt says the hope is that we can get more storms moving in by the end of December. Right now, we have a couple of weak storms in the forecast. An inversion is keeping bad air around, but hopefully even a weak storm will clear it out. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla has more.
The Utah Air Quality Index says overall air is in the moderate range and not too bad, but some areas are rough with air labeled unhealthy for sensitive groups. That's in a few areas across northern Utah, including West Valley, North Salt Lake, and even Centerville. It's also across Utah County and Provo and Eagle Mountain. There are a few really bad areas right now, with red unhealthy air in Orem, Eagle Mountain, and West Valley. A storm should help clear it out, and luckily enough, we're expecting one tomorrow. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. And here's Ricky Meese.
Nice and quiet on the Valley freeways where traffic is just rolling along, and that includes normal KSL travel times. Both directions of I-15 in Weber, Davis, Salt Lake, and Utah counties. Our main secondaries also seeing lighter traffic and no problems reported. No matter the weather, your feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Calling for haze to remain at the valley floor today, 49 the high, but also dealing with a little bit of cloud cover up above. 39 overnight, partly cloudy skies. I got a 55 dialed for your Wednesday, chance for showers. 49 on Thursday, mostly cloudy, with a 20 to 30% chance to see a little pop-up shower. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 45 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City. And still to come on Midday with Maria Shilaos. We'll talk to a retired FBI agent about the search for the gunman responsible for killing 2 people at Brown University. That's next, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station. If your weight has been really weighing heavily on you for the last few weeks and you're thinking the new year is going to be the time that you're really going to take care of that, really improve your health, I want to tell you about a great program that has worked for me. I've been talking about this for the last couple of years because I lost more than 40 pounds with the help of Salt Lake City Fat Loss. It improved my health. I no longer have back spasms. I have a lot more energy. And right now, if you'd like to take advantage of this great program, you don't have to start it now, but you want to take advantage of the great holiday savings. They have a huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year now through December 31st. So you don't have to start the program now. You can start it after the holidays, but you need to call now to lock in this huge discount. You can even go online at slcfatloss.com. It's an easy way to do that. This program is all natural. It strategically combines some foods to help you drop that weight quickly, and that means you're going to stick with it. It just pretty much burns that stored belly fat. Since it's all natural, no side effects, it's less expensive than other programs. There are no products that you have to buy, and it has a great app. It keeps you accountable. It allows you to ask questions or voice concerns at any time. It gives you inspiration and recipes. I've lost more than 40 pounds. Many of their clients lose up to a pound per day. Take advantage of the holiday savings now at slcfatloss.com. That's slcfatloss.com.
Steel. When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
We can make it better, can we do it? We won't it up. Cause we know how to jump.
Moving and eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
KSL News Time, 12:15. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
a 13-year-old was rushed to the hospital after a collision between an electric bike and an electric motorcycle in southern Utah. I'm KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson.
Second, police say a man has violated his parole, burglarizing a Lehigh hospital along with several others in California, stealing more than $25,000 worth of medical supplies. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
Pretty quiet on your Salt Lake County freeways. No accidents, no delays there. In fact, I-15 seeing a good drive both directions between Ogden and Provo. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Valley haze today with some clouds overhead. Chance for showers tomorrow.
Don't say it.
I'm
Don't
Matt
say
Johnson.
it's
45 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Secretary Pete Hegseth after briefing lawmakers on U.S. strikes on alleged drug vessels in the Caribbean, along with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, says he will not release the full video of the September 2nd incident showing multiple strikes on a vessel with 2 survivors killed in follow-up strikes. Experts say those strikes may have violated war laws. ABC's Karen Travers says White House Chief of Staff is also speaking out in an interview with Vanity Fair.
The president now for several weeks has been threatening soon taking action on land in Venezuela to go after the drug cartels. He said it again yesterday, saying that this could be starting soon, but hasn't indicated what that would look like, where they would go, and when it would happen. But Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, in this interview with Vanity Fair, says that if they were to do that, that would be war, and they would need congressional authorization, something the president has not been discussing.
In a social media post today, President Trump says he'll deliver a primetime end-of-the-year address tomorrow night. Nick Reiner remains in custody in Los Angeles after being booked for suspicion of murder for his parents' death, director Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer. He's awaiting formal charges. Nick Reiner's attorney today says he's not medically cleared to appear in court today. ABC's Alex Stone has more.
Today, LAPD investigators say they will be presenting their case, the evidence, and what they have learned to the LA County DA so the DA can decide on what charges to file against Nick Reiner. He was booked into jail by police on suspicion of murder, but it's a district attorney who decides on what charges to file and actually filing those charges. Once charges are filed, then we'll know when Nick Reiner will make his initial appearance in court for allegedly killing his mom and dad.
In Australia today, a vigil held at Bondi Beach for victims of the shooting attack on the first day of Hanukkah. Police say a father and son carried out the anti-Semitic attack, killing 15 and injuring more than 36 others. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Investigators are still looking for the person responsible for the shooting at Brown University over the weekend. Retired FBI agent Greg Rogers joins me now live. Greg, thanks for being with me.
You bet. Always a pleasure.
Okay, it's been multiple days since the shooting. Do searches like this typically last this long?
You never know. Unfortunately, when you have an unidentified suspect like in this case, it takes a little bit of luck. And this one is dragging, though. Normally, when you release the video, like in the Brian Thompson case or the Charlie Kirk case, you have people calling real quickly, usually that same day, saying, I know that guy.
Yeah, but I saw some of that video, and you don't see the guy's face at all.
No, you don't. And you don't in the, in the Kirk case, you didn't see the face either. But this guy has a very distinctive body style. He has a limp. He is someone that friends and associates could identify. Mm-hmm. So that's, of course, what everyone's hoping for, that someone that is close to him, and again, in the Kirk case, it was family members, someone that's close to him is willing to come forward and say, this is who this is.
You mentioned it's going to take probably a little bit of luck. Describe for us what's kind of going on behind the scenes. What does the investigation look like right now?
Well, they do have some forensics, thankfully. We have some bullet casings. So I can assure you that on the bullet casings, they're not only looking for partial prints. Hopefully he wasn't wearing gloves when he loaded the weapon. And they're also looking for DNA. So there's other things going on besides just waiting for a phone call.
This has to be really scary for those people who attend Brown University and, to have this person still out on the loose.
Very much so, because there's I always get a little critical when, a lot of people always feel the need to say, that the environment's safe, but this isn't. We don't know who this guy is. We don't know why he chose that particular building at Brown. We don't know. It doesn't appear that he chose his victims intentionally. Knowing them personally, there might be some reason he chose that building. It might have been random, but there's no indication at all where he is or if he's coming back. This is a very scary situation.
Greg, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for being with me.
Oh, you bet.
Live on the KSL Newsline, that is retired FBI agent Greg Rogers. Let's get you up to date now with traffic and weather. It's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards, and here's Ricky Meese.
Getting reports of a possible accident, a new one in Utah County, northbound I-15 near Lehigh Main Street, but it sounds like crews have already worked to get it moved out of traffic over to the shoulder. And as far as speeds go, I'm not seeing any slowdowns in the area. Traffic seems to be moving just fine northbound I-15 through the Lehigh area. Well, in fact, all of Utah County. And for those who are traveling I-15, 215, I-80, or the 201 in Salt Lake County, you're good to go. No problems reported there. Our main secondary's pretty quiet at this time. And the downtown city streets, if you're out to grab a bite to eat, no problems reported. Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? That's what you get at Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off. Visit minkycouture.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast. We start out with a high of 49 today. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, valley haze. Tomorrow, shallow cool front bringing in a chance for showers, 55 the high. 49, mostly cloudy skies, 30% chance for showers on Thursday, hoping for better air quality. Friday, mostly cloudy, 56. 53 with a chance for showers on Saturday. Sunday's mostly cloudy, 52. I got a 55 partly cloudy on Monday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 45 degrees downtown. The 7-day forecast brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets. I'm going to tell you, stocks are really struggling today. The Dow in the worst shape, down by more than 400 points. A complete update of your money news is coming up next.
Don't say it. Don't say it's bigger than you. It's not. One person can make a difference, and Rescue Mission of Salt Lake can show you how. Winter is here, yet over 500 people every night remain unsheltered in Utah, sleeping in parks, vacant lots, or wherever they can lay their head and find rest. Is that bigger than you? Not when Rescue Mission of Salt Lake is here to help. The journey of healing often begins with simple things: a meal, a good night's sleep, a warm greeting. Sponsor a meal for just over $1 or a night of shelter for $7. As a privately funded faith-based organization, the Rescue Mission does not receive federal, state, or city funding. They're supported through your tax-deductible contributions. One person, that's right, you can make a difference and change a life today by saying you'll be part of the solution. RescueSaltLake.org is where you start. It's not bigger than you because you can make a difference. RescueSaltLake.org.
Calling all jazz fans. If you can't wait another second to see stars like Ace Bailey and Lowry Markkanen tear up the court, you're in luck. Tickets are on sale now. Let's go! No matter what you're looking for, the Utah Jazz has your back. With season tickets, mini plans, and single game options available, there's something for everyone. Whatever your schedule or budget, there's a plan for every fan. Don't miss a moment of the action this season. Secure your tickets today at UtahJazz.com.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep. But first, take time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines.
They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. End the days of a poor night's sleep. With offices from Clearfield to St. George, Sound Sleep will help. Call Sound Sleep at 801-716-8672 today.
The holiday season is here and it is in full force, and it's time for you and your entire family to get into NPS, where everything, every day, is 20 to 70% off. But the great thing is, shopping is truly an adventure at NPS because they'll have additional savings on top of the 20 to 70% off. It's a chance for you to really stretch those Christmas dollars at any of the 4 NPS stores. And at this time of year, it's so important for you to know that they've got it all. They've got toys for the kids. They've got art supplies, the holiday decor, everything you need for your holiday meals. It's waiting for you at NPS. There are 4 stores, 2 in Salt Lake on Empire, the traditional store, and then the more industrial store across the street. There's one in Orem, and there's one in Layton. NPS, a nice place to save.
Any Hour Services can help you make sure your furnace keeps you warm this winter. Whether you need a tune-up, a repair, or a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
A nativity scene in suburban Chicago is attracting attention and attracting vandals.
The outdoor nativity scene at Lake Street Church in Evanston, Illinois, featured Mary and Joseph in gas masks, the baby Jesus in zip ties, and Roman centurions dressed in ice vests. Church leaders saying it was meant to draw parallels to the recent immigration crackdown in Chicago, and saying they weren't surprised when vandals smashed Mary, toppled Joseph, and took the zip ties off Jesus. Now all that remains are the centurions and Jesus back in his zip ties with a sign that reads, "What happened to Mary? She was beaten and dragged away in front of her son." Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Watching Utah's money, companies are spending major money on advertising this year. Wall Street Journal says advertisers spent $1.47 billion on holiday TV ads over the first 9 weeks of what is considered the holiday season. That is up 13% from last year. More than 80% of Gen Xers are worried they won't have enough money for a comfortable retirement. Yahoo Finance says a majority expect to retire with about $711,000. That is way less than the $1.2 million they think that they'll need. Ford is pivoting away from its electric vehicle plans and will focus on investing in more efficient gasoline engines and hybrid EVs. Company says it will also scrap plans to make the F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 386 points, sitting at 48,024. Markets didn't like the latest jobs data. S&P 500 down by 41 and the NASDAQ down by 61 points.
You probably know if you need new windows. You hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Join KSL News Radio's Amanda Dixon this Friday from 3 to 5 at the Salt Lake NPS store at 1600 Empire Road, npsstore.com. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
Looks like it really wasn't too much of a problem with the report of the accident that we had northbound I-15 near Main Street in Lehigh. Now, in Salt Lake County, we do have traffic getting a little busy and maybe starting to dip below the speed limit northbound I-15 approaching the I-215 junction in Murray just after 7200 south. Not really sure why it's getting bogged down. I can't really see anything in the traffic cameras, but it's definitely starting to slow right at the south interchange. And we also have a report of an accident downtown in the cleanup stages, 9th West at 100 North. Renew your smile with Grandpa's Dental. Grandpa's Dental offers cosmetic and routine dentistry. Visit grandpasdental.com for a location near you. That's grandpasdental.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's forecast calling for more clouds out there. Partly to mostly cloudy skies, we'll call it, with a high of 49. Haze in the valley remains overnight, low of 39. I got a chance for showers on Wednesday, high of 55. Mostly cloudy Thursday, 49. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 45 degrees downtown.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time, 1230. KSL's top story. A 16-year-old charged with the murder of another teen near Ben Lomond High School is scheduled to appear in court this afternoon. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff joins us with details.
Isaiah Carenza is facing nearly 30 different charges relating to the murder of Mason Caballero. Prosecutors say the shooting happened during a car chase with the suspects in one car and Caballero and two others in another car. Carenza and a 15-year-old were reportedly shooting from their car when a bullet went through the trunk and the back seat of the other car before hitting and killing Caballero. The two other people in the car with Caballero were not hurt. Carenza is being charged as an adult. He's scheduled to be in court in Farmington at 1 o'clock. Don Brinkerhoff, KSL News Radio.
A 13-year-old girl riding an electric motorcycle was rushed to the hospital after she collided with a boy on an electric bike. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
We've been getting warnings all year long from police about kids riding e-bikes or motorcycles where they shouldn't, or they can't handle how fast those e-bikes can go. This latest case was in Washington City, where the St. George News says a 13-year-old girl was on a Sur-Ron electric motorcycle and got into a T-bone crash with a boy on an electric bike. The girl took the brunt of the impact and was taken to the hospital. Police haven't said who was at fault.
Police also say the kids in the crash were not wearing helmets. We are now learning a man has been taken to jail following a fatal auto pedestrian crash in Provo last night. It happened near 900 South and 1st West. Police say 80-year-old Mario Valer died shortly after he was hit by a pickup truck at the location. Jana Lee Holland with the Provo Police Department says there is no crosswalk there.
Take that extra time, that extra beat to pause and make sure that there is enough time, space for you to safely cross, or just walk that extra distance to find a crosswalk.
Police have since arrested the truck driver, 42-year-old Jason Phillips. He's being accused of DUI and automobile homicide. Fire officials say they are unsure if a Provo store will be able to be rebuilt. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has more.
Ford's Meat Locker, known to Provo locals for making beef jerky, dog treats, and more, burned down late last night. Jeannie Atherton from the Provo Fire Department says that at this time it is unclear if the extent of the damage makes the store unsalvageable.
It's got a lot of heavy damage. We don't know how much of that is how much the structural members of that building have been affected.
Regular patrons of the store say they are hopeful it will be able to reopen soon. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
Salt Lake International is the place to be if you have holiday travel plans. KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson explains.
Travel insurance resource Squaremouth has listed Salt Lake International as the second most reliable airport in the country. Executive Director of Airports for Salt Lake City, Bill Wyatt, says it comes down to our new spacious runways and facilities, along with the fact they're prepared for any kind of weather. And surprisingly, he doesn't think the airport will be busier this next week, but lines could be more congested because of the type of travelers during Christmas.
It's mom and dad and the kids who maybe haven't been on a plane for a year and kind of remember and kind of don't the processes for doing all of this.
Wyatt says for this reason, arrive earlier than usual for your flight. Britt Johnson, KSL News Radio.
There's some disagreement about whether or not there are more people moving in or out of the state. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi has more.
According to an analysis by Atlas Van Lines, Utah lost slightly more residents than gained in 2025. But a research fellow at the Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute doesn't think that's correct because housing sales are still posting net positive results. The report claims that states with the most in-migration include Hawaii, Tennessee, and Washington. Those with more people moving out include Louisiana, West Virginia, and Wyoming.
Atlas Van Lines based its results on 1,100 shipments in Utah. KSL's top national stories. A lawsuit hoping to stop construction of the new White House ballroom has its first key test at a hearing in federal court. ABC News correspondent Stephen Portnoy has more.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation argues that no president should be able to tear down parts of the White House or build additions without expert review, public comment, and approval from Congress. In its filings, the administration insists the president has the legal authority to construct the ballroom, and with the plan still not final, the White House says it will seek the input of planners before above-ground construction starts in April. The court papers also have the Secret Service warning of potential harm to national security if the project is halted.
The White House also argues the president doesn't need anyone's approval to demolish the East Wing or build a ballroom in its place. First look traffic. What's happening, Ricky?
The slowing that we had northbound I-15 near the South Interchange in Murray is starting to thin out, and good speeds are returning there. And we still have a nice and quiet drive on all the Valley freeways. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:35.
The holidays are just around the corner, and Western Nut Company is here to make your gifting a breeze. From our beautiful gift baskets and nut boxes to our famous in-house fudge and brittle, we've got treats for every taste bud, crafted with the highest quality ingredients. Corporate gifting, that's our specialty. Just send us your list and we'll handle the rest. Beautifully packed, shipped with care, and guaranteed to impress. Calling all office managers or executive assistants. Call Western Nut now and let us make your holidays a little less nuts. But we actually do want you to eat more nuts. For 60 years, Western Nut has been a proud Utah tradition. Stop by our downtown shop for unique gifts, glittering ornaments, festive decor, and so much more. Western Nut Company, more than just the best gifts in Utah. We're a holiday tradition, in-store or online at westernut.com, where quality meets tradition, and every gift is packed with love.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now, the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So, what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today. 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Mr. Mac, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Mac's there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story. The 16-year-old suspected of shooting and killing another teen near Ben Lomond High School will be in court this afternoon. KSL News Time, 12:37. New research shows homelessness is still on the rise here in Utah, and experts say they are seeing more women and children become part of that trend. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
The new research from the Utah Women in Leadership Project found homelessness among U.S. families with children rose 39% between 2023 and 2024. That's the largest single-year increase ever. Project founder and director Dr. Susan Madsen says one of the biggest reasons for that is the cost of housing and rent, especially here in Utah.
Securing housing in general has been more challenging for so many people. You do see more housing here in Utah with multiple families.
Dr. Madsen says Utah's been closely following that national homelessness trend for women and children, and she says mental health, domestic violence, and other factors are also contributing to that. Dr. Madsen says she believes not only do we need to invest more resources into combating high housing prices, she also thinks treating men and women based on their unique needs can be a more effective way to address the overall problem. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
They expect to see volunteers around Salt Lake County gathering signatures in an effort to get a recent property tax increase on the ballot. Salt Lake County friends and neighbors filed a petition to open the referendum process yesterday, and now they have 39 days to gather 56,000 signatures. Gayod Maragani tells KSL he's volunteering to help.
They have a $2 billion budget,
and they're trying to increase taxes by $36.5 million. They could have cut $36.5 million more out of that budget without any impact on normal everyday citizens.
County says funding county operations like Meals on Wheels, flood control in the jail, and senior services would be directly impacted if there is not an increase. The government released the monthly jobs report a short time ago on an unusual day because of the delays caused by the government shutdown, and it contains data from 2 months. U.S. employers lost 105,000 jobs in October, then added 64,000 in November. Zions Bank senior economist Robert Spenlove says these numbers are a direct result of federal job cuts.
What this says is that our labor force is still doing okay. We're still seeing some growth, but we are seeing that unemployment rate starting to edge up a little bit. So it's kind of a warning sign for the Fed that don't take your eye off the employment sector.
The unemployment rate rose to 4.6%, which is the highest since 2021, and markets not liking this news at all. Right now, the Dow is down by 374 points. That's about 0.75%. Traffic and weather, it's brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Let's check in with Ricky Meese.
It is a problem-free drive on all the Valley freeways and our main secondaries. No accidents, no real delays. You do have the construction with a reduced speed limit in any construction zone. Southbound I-215's West Belt as you're approaching I-80. And we have the final cleanup of an accident at 9th West, 100 North, about the North Temple area. There's been a little bit of busy traffic in that area, but overall no major delays, so pretty quiet for your noontime drive. Christmas time is merry and bright at the shops at Riverwoods in Provo. Come see Santa. Shop, dine, and see magical Christmas lights at the shops at Riverwoods in Provo. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's forecast does call for a little bit more valley haze, moderate to unhealthy for sensitive groups type air. 49 will be the high, partly to mostly cloudy skies. Overnight 39, a little bit of haze, partly cloudy. 55 tomorrow, haze. Then we could see some showers work in and potentially clear out the inversion. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy downtown, just a bit of sunshine and 46 degrees. Coming up on Midday, we'll talk to Ballet West about scam tickets and how to avoid them. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KSL News Time, 1245. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
researchers say Utah is seeing a big rise in people experiencing homelessness, including families with children, and they say housing costs are a big reason why. I'm KSL News Radio's Adam Small.
Second, a man with autism is missing out of Salt Lake City again, just days after he was found. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
Pretty quiet out there, just the way we like it. Light traffic, good speeds on all the Valley freeways. No problems reported as far as accidents or delays, and that's on the freeways and our main secondaries. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
The clouds stream in from the west today, but the inversion remains locked. I'm Matt Johnson.
46 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national story.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The manhunt continues in Rhode Island for the suspect in the Brown University mass shooting. 2 students were killed, 9 others injured. Police have released new images of a person of interest. ABC's Rena Roy is in Providence.
They are turning, though, to the public for help, offering that $50,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. And I do want to point out that these videos, police say, were taken right here where we are standing in front of the engineering building where this shooting happened. And they are short clips, but it seems like that police are trying to really piece together these small moments to paint a bigger picture and to create a timeline to figure out where he might be right now.
Secretary Pete Hegseth says he will not release the full video showing military strikes on an alleged drug vessel September 2nd. Hegseth is under scrutiny after 2 survivors were killed in follow-up strikes. On Wall Street, stocks are sharply down this hour. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. The Nutcracker Ballet is a Christmas tradition for people all over the world, including here in Utah. The only problem is more scammers are also taking advantage of it. Director of Patron Services at Ballet West, Natalie Thorpe, is joining me now live. Natalie, thank you for being with me.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
So kind of describe what you're seeing right now.
A lot of what we're seeing is people buying through third-party sites, basically sites that are not balletwest.org or arttix.org, and they're paying significantly more for tickets. Like a ticket that's usually $49, they're going to be paying $400, $500, even $1,000.
I'm curious as to why people would go to these third-party sites before first visiting your site.
It's a tough question to answer. I know it's really easy for someone to just go on to a search engine and just type in Nutcracker Salt Lake City or tickets Nutcracker. And the first few search results that they get are not going to be our sites. It'll be advertised sites.
So what's the easiest way to just spot these scams?
I mean, probably the biggest red flag, if you're not sure whether or not you're on a legitimate site, is if you're not able to select an actual seat. That's a big red flag. And if they're promising you a row or a section, but not a specific seat number, then that's also very much a scam.
Is the Nutcracker sold out? Is this maybe one of the reasons people might be going to these third-party sites?
We still have plenty of tickets available, especially this next week of Christmas for matinees and even our 3 performances that are after Christmas. We still have plenty of seats available.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
You're welcome.
Live on the KSL Newsline, the Director of Patron Services at Ballet West, Natalie Thorpe. Let's get you up to date on the drive now. Traffic and weather is brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards, and here's Ricky Meese.
You're good to go if you're traveling I-15 either direction between Ogden and Provo. The same for the rest of the Valley freeways. A beautiful drive to be up in the canyons, whether you're traveling I-80 in Parleys, Big or Little Cottonwood, or Highway 189 Provo Canyon. No problems reported there. And our main secondary scene, a good drive. The earlier accident that we had at 9th West and 100 North has been cleared. When you take UTA, you can do just about anything while you ride. You won't even notice all the traffic you're missing. Plan your trip at rideuta.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast has more abnormally warm weather through the 7-day period. I've got a 49 dialed up for today, partly to mostly cloudy skies and a little bit of valley haze. 55 tomorrow, chance for showers. with a cool front brushing through Wednesday afternoon. Hoping that that's enough to clear out the inversion. Thursday, mostly cloudy, 30% chance for showers, 49. 56 the high on Friday, mostly cloudy. Saturday, chance for showers, 53. 52, mostly cloudy skies on Sunday. Monday's got partly cloudy skies, 55. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And the sun is starting to burn through those clouds in downtown Salt Lake City, 46 degrees. The 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful.
What if more reliable didn't mean more expensive? With Xfinity, you can get reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi for less. We're talking intelligent gig-speed Wi-Fi for $50 a month. This holiday season through January 4th, Xfinity is offering their best price on gig-speed Wi-Fi. Guaranteed for 5 years. No contracts, no strings attached. You can save $3,000 over Verizon and AT&T. Imagine getting super-fast Wi-Fi at the same price for 5 years. Get everything you need from Xfinity, their best Wi-Fi equipment, even unlimited data, all included, all at their best price. Get ready to be wowed by your Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary. Savings based on promo and post-promo prices for 1 gig Internet, 1 unlimited line, and Peacock Premium versus Verizon 1 gig Internet and AT&T 1000 Internet with 1 unlimited starter SL line.
Our country is held together by small businesses. That's a fact. It's also a fact that 9 out of 10 of those small businesses will fail. Why? Because it's hard. Really hard to build a profitable business from the ground up today. Pure Talk knows that. They started as a small American wireless company determined to keep their customer service in this country. It worked. And today, Pure Talk is determined to help other small businesses prosper by offering them the same white glove service the big guys get. Same service, same 5G network at a truly affordable price. Pure Talk is focused on businesses that employ welders and roofers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, the people who keep the lights on. If that sounds like your business, give Pure Talk Business a try and see just how much you could save. Dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who understands the power of small business. Pure Talk.
At Intermountain Health, we believe life is a circle. May yours surround you with insight, a healthy perspective, trust, and reassurance. The belief that our differences aren't that different, and compassion just when you need it most. Life is a circle. May yours help you live the healthiest life possible. Intermountain Health.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow and binge all episodes of Stolen Voices of Dole Valley, available now wherever you listen.
KSL News Time 12:53. Topping many Christmas lists this year will be the latest versions of the smartwatch.
Researchers at the Mayo Clinic have come up with a smartwatch-based system that signals parents to an oncoming emotional outburst in their kids. A study published in JAMA Open Network says a special device worn by children can detect physiological stress signals like rising heart rate or changes in movement or sleep, then send that data to a parent's phone in the form of a tantrum alert. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Watching Utah's money, a new AI startup backed by OpenAI and JP Morgan Chase is partnering with Amazon's independent sellers. CNBC reports it will provide a reusable line of credit to the sellers. Slope is used to vet businesses. More people are using AI to help finish their shopping. Coupon Follow says 53% of people have or plan to use AI for shopping. 7 in 10 say they believe AI is more helpful compared to flyers or emails. 14 of the largest U.S. retail banks made more money from overdraft and bounce check fees during the first 9 months of the year. Reuters says the data shows how often people encounter them and how some banks still rely on them. And taking a look at your money at this moment, the markets have been struggling today after the jobs report was released. The Dow right now, it's made some improvements, down 338 points, not quite 0.75%, sitting at 48,077. S&P is down by 26 points. The NASDAQ, though, has made a turnaround, now in positive territory, up by nearly 7 points. Zootopia 2 is trending all over the world, especially in China, where people are trying to adopt blue snakes.
Snakes never hurt anyone. We aren't the bad guys. They are. And this journal holds the secret that will prove it.
The snake in the movie, named Gary, is helping give reptiles a good reputation. More than 17 million people in China own exotic pets, and 60% were Gen Z. And Ritual Chocolate is partnering with Deer Valley Resort, launching a special edition chocolate bar. Company says the blend of flavors honor the spirit of the mountains and the joy of shared experiences that bring people together. You can get it at Ritual's website.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. The other night with my wife, Dee, we saw Frozen at Hale Center Theater, and it was delightful. I have a little confession. You know the song, Let It Go? My little granddaughters sing that so much that I'm afraid I haven't fully appreciated it until I saw it performed at Hale Center Theater. The artistry of the presentation and the staging brought that song to life for me. I have become a true believer. And the puppetry at Hale Center Theater, when they bring Sven out and when they have Olaf, you are going to love it. And don't forget, they have special presentations of Frozen where you can bring the younger kids. We've already got that booked for our family. It's Frozen on the stage right now at Hale Center Theater. And of course, you've got to make sure you get your tickets for A Christmas Carol. It always sells out. And by the way, Frozen is selling out very, very fast. Go to hct.org and lock down those tickets. Get season tickets for the holidays and so much more. hct.org.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Hi, this is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Every 2 minutes, another American is sexually assaulted. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, you are not alone. Help is just a call or click away through the National Sexual Assault Hotline. Please call 1-800-656-HOPE, that's HOPE, or visit RAIN.org, that's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by Rain and this station.
KSL Broadcast Group contests are open to participants 18 years of age and older that are residents of Utah, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest may not enter. Persons who have won in the last 30, 60, or 90 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available at KSLNewsRadio.com/contests.
My savings are gone.
Okay, where were they last?
Here, right before I spent them on that vacation to Aruba.
Weird. Not weird. Not saving now means no money later. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Traffic and weather, it's sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. What's going on, Ricky?
We do have a new accident called out in the downtown area, 1300 South and 3rd West. For anybody still on the Valley freeways making their way back to work after a bite to eat, you're good to go. No accidents or delays. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers, all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, just a slight chance of showers today, but up to a 60% chance of rain showers tomorrow. Warmer tomorrow with a high of 55, and then a 30% chance of showers pretty much for the rest of the week. Right now in downtown Salt Lake City, mostly cloudy and 46 degrees. And taking a look at some of the temperatures around the area, Park City is at 44, Moab's at 47, and Price at this hour, 45 degrees.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
A growing trend around the Wasatch Front, signs in business windows telling ICE agents they are not welcome there. The movement, part of something happening across the country.
I just love the power of information. When you do know your rights, you're standing in power. And you're standing in unity with others who know their rights and who want to protect your rights.
The time is 1 o'clock on Tuesday, December 16th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Do these signs actually hold any weight? We'll get the breakdown and some legal analysis in just a few minutes. Also this hour,
not almost in defiance, we're holding it in defiance to what happened in Australia.
Utah's Jewish community continuing on today with Hanukkah celebrations, finding strength in the aftermath of the terror attack in Australia. But first, our top stories. New research shows more women and children are experiencing homelessness, including here in Utah. The Utah Women in Leadership Project found homelessness among U.S. families with children rose 39% between 2023 and 2024. That is the largest single-year increase ever. Project founder and director Dr. Susan Madsen says the cost of housing is a big reason for that.
Securing housing in general has been more challenging for so many people. You do see more housing here in Utah with multiple families.
Dr. Madsen also says mental health, disabilities, domestic violence, and other factors are contributing to the trend. A man is accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of medical equipment from a Lehigh hospital, as well as a string of thefts in California. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis has more.
Police say in the span of 2 weeks, Jason Bronner took over $25,000 of medical supplies from Holy Cross Mountain Point Hospital. He would come in at night wearing scrubs and a surgical mask. Police found he got into several badge-restricted areas because the doors had been taped open. NBC Los Angeles reports he took over $100,000 worth of supplies from at least 3 hospitals there.
Police say Bronner's wife told them that he sold the stolen supplies to other companies. Our top national story from ABC News. Authorities are still on the hunt for the person responsible for opening fire on the campus of Brown University. More from ABC's Rena Roy in Providence.
All we know from the FBI at this point is that this person of interest is being described as a man with a 5'8", roughly stocky build. And they are back here at the school. The FBI agents and police officers that we have been seeing here for the last couple of days, sort of trying to retrace his steps. And these new images, they are clearer than the original surveillance videos that we originally saw. We see this man dressed in black, but he has a face mask on and a beanie. We really can't see much of him.
2 people were killed and 9 were hurt. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is down by 336 points, sitting at 48,079. S&P is down by 24 points, but the NASDAQ gets up by 15 points. Traffic and weather is sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Tell us about those trouble spots, Ricky.
No problems there. We do have the cleanup of a crash, a report of a crash, I should say, downtown at 3rd South and 3rd West. Whether you park it, stripe it, or pave it, GoPave Utah has your blacktop covered. GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Call or visit GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's high expected to be about 49 degrees. Looks like we've already surpassed that, though. Tomorrow's supposed to be a little bit warmer, up to 55 for a high and a 60% chance of showers. Then we have at least a 30% chance of showers for the next few days after that. Right now, 49 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
You probably know if you need new windows. You hear the wind whistling. There's condensation between the panes. Maybe your heating bill's too high, but you don't want to pull the trigger because it costs a lot of money. I understand. And they understand at Advanced Window Products. After all, they've been creating custom state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. They know what's up. That's why they offer 60-month 0% financing or buy now, pay later. You get the windows this winter for 30 to 40% less because you're buying straight from the factory. They'll build, they'll install your windows, and you don't have to pay for a year or more. At Advanced, they're committed to making your new windows affordable. And if you call now, they'll knock another $2,500 off your quote. State-of-the-art, energy-saving windows built here for Utah's changing climate. And right now, $2,500 off. Call for a quote, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Are you within 3 years of filing for Social Security? You've heard about delaying your benefits to get a bigger benefits check, right? But guess what? That could be a huge mistake. When you consider your taxes, Medicare premiums, and other benefits, you could potentially get more income by filing early. Find out the precise timing that could get you the most money possible with a free, customized Social Security analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. Don't leave one dime on the table that's rightfully yours. Schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Immigrant advocacy groups in Utah are pushing back against stepped-up immigration enforcement, not through protests, but through storefront signs meant to educate workers and ease fear. The signs are popping up in places like West Valley City and Salt Lake, and supporters say they are about empowerment, not confrontation. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera has been talking with the organizers behind the campaign, and he joins me now. Eric? First of all, what are these signs and why are we seeing them now?
Maria, organizers say this really comes down to fear. They're hearing from workers who are scared to show up to work because they don't know what could happen if immigration agents appear. The campaign is being led by groups like Indivisible Utah, and organizer Sarah Buck told me it actually started in a much quieter way.
And the idea was to educate businesses on how they can protect their employees when they're at work. And it also felt like it was an opportunity to just kind of get the Know Your Rights training out. I mean, so many things come through our workplace, and this is an opportunity for us to educate employees on their rights. And so that was how it started. And then because West Valley is seeing some of the aggressive tactics of ICE, they redesigned the sign. And it doesn't just say employees, it says ICE out of Utah, and it's very much, like it's saying we know our rights, I think, is what the sign is doing. It's putting ICE on notice.
She says what began as a simple reminder about private workspaces quickly shifted as enforcement activity increased.
The sign has a QR code, and when you go to the QR code, it has the Know Your Rights training in Spanish and English, and it has what the warrants look like and what a valid warrant looks like, whereas one from Homeland Security is not a valid warrant to come into a private place. So it's, again, I think that it is really powerful when people start to recognize they have a way to push back.
Buck also says that access to information can change how people approach work, especially when fear is the biggest barrier. Later, she explained this isn't just about sending a message. It's also about keeping workplaces functioning.
The focus really is on the reality of a business owner has a space where they can help protect their employees. And we are seeing business owners struggle with employees not showing up.
She says fear is showing up first at work, people choosing not to clock in or worrying they could be targeted just for being there. The signs include QR codes, like she said, linking to Know Your Rights information in English and Spanish, outlining what legal options people have.
I just love the power of information, and that's how it's being put forward. And that when you do know your rights, you're standing in power. And you're standing in unity with others who know their rights and who want to protect your rights.
So, Eric, how have the business owners reacted to this? Are they actually willing to put up the signs?
That was one of the more surprising parts of this. She said they expected a lot more hesitation from employers, but instead, many have been open to posting the signs, and that business owners are already dealing with staffing shortages, and they're seeing firsthand how fear is affecting their workers.
I originally thought employers won't put this up, but that has not been the case. Employers have been very happy to put it up, especially in West Valley.
So is it just a Salt Lake County effort, or is it spreading beyond that?
It is spreading, Maria. Buck says they're holding trainings and distributing signs across the state, including in places like Provo and St. George. And she emphasized this isn't limited to one political pocket of Utah. She says for many people involved, this is about humanity and community, not politics.
All right. Thank you, Eric. That is KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera. Do these signs hold any weight? Can they actually prevent ICE agents from entering a business? KSL legal analyst and the co-host of Inside Sources, Greg Skorda, says, well, not really.
Business owners who own their property have private property rights, just like individuals do. But those rights don't necessarily extend to law enforcement conducting legal activities. In other words, you can say, my property is my own. You cannot come here. You're trespassed from it. But if it's a law enforcement officer coming to serve a warrant or to do something for the public safety, you can't exclude them from your property.
Skorda says in some circumstances, law enforcement, including immigrations agents, don't need a warrant to enter private property.
Obviously, if ICE agents had a warrant to go onto somebody's property, they would have the ability to do that. But sometimes you can enter property without a warrant if you have what's called probable cause and what you call exigent circumstances. In other words, there's something more emergent, more of an emergency, really, that requires them to get onto the property. In those instances, they're not required to get a warrant, and the property owner would have to be very careful to exclude them from the property, because then that person could get in trouble.
So if you are a private property owner, such as a business owner, do you truly have a say over who can or who cannot be on your property? Yes, but not in all circumstances.
Property owners can exclude people from their property. You see the no shoes, no shirt, no service signs, but they have to have some reason for it. It can't be because of their color or something like that. And it can't also include public officials who are conducting their job, who are doing what they are elected or hired to do for the benefit of the public, including public safety.
Skorda says in the end, business owners and property owners have to walk a fine line between security, discrimination, and hindering law enforcement investigations. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from 10 to 1 as the movie show stops by. Then browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes a new inventory every day. Then they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. So you're invited to visit the movie show Friday 10 to 1. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
Utah Mammoth Hockey is back at Delta Center. Don't miss your chance to be part of the excitement as the Mammoth hit the ice all season long. Grab your friends, rally the family, and lock in your seats for the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Great seats are available for most games, but they're selling fast. Head to UtahMammoth.com to get your tickets today. That's UtahMammoth.com. Your home for all things Mammoth hockey.
You were listening to a replay of an earlier episode of Midday with Maria Shilaos. Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. And in case you couldn't tell from the weather outside, we're now less than 2 weeks until Christmas.
of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know.
If you were dreaming of a white Christmas, but you haven't even seen the snow yet, you're in good company. In fact, it's not just Utah. States all around the West are seeing the slowest snow start in 25 years. Many places are seeing wet conditions, not Utah, but areas that should be seeing snow right now only seeing rain. Let's go in depth on the warm weather and what the long-range models are saying about Christmas. Joining me now is KSL meteorologist Devin Mashuli. We're all kind of going, what's happening here? Devin, it's not just happening here. What's going on?
Across the west, we know it's been fairly active, especially to our north, but we have kind of had multiple atmospheric river events, and that is basically when the jet stream pulls moisture from areas like Hawaii, and that is like what we know as a warmer location. So not only is this bringing a lot of moisture to those regions, but it's bringing warm air with it. So they continue to experience just rain instead of snow coming down because we need the cold to come in from the polar areas. So that's just not how the pattern has been. And I was looking up some data, and it says that from drought.gov, several of the basins, the top major basins here in the West, have all experienced a November among the top 5 warmest. And Salt Lake City, we had our warmest November on record. So while we can get rain, you need the cold to make the snow, and that's just what's happening.
Yeah, we had a little bit of hope. We did get some precipitation, and then gone.
And then it's gone. Yeah, it melts really quick when temperatures are above normal by so much. I mean, we've had record warmth or near record warmth the last couple of days, and it also doesn't help that part of the West, while we know north of us has been active, if you have the high pressure center over you for several days, that means you're going to stay dry as well, just like we've been seeing here in Utah. So it's either it's warm or just dry. So not a recipe for snowpack.
No, and that little bit that we did see, I mean, is the snowpack really bad right now?
It's not completely terrible here. It's just off to a slow start, and we've seen this before. And we're hoping that the last 2 weeks of December, we can get a little bit of a more active pattern. It looks like our outlooks are kind of favoring a bit more storms to come through, at least northern Utah. But we're still highly favored to be warmer than normal. So while we may get storms, I just don't think we'll be seeing snow in the valleys unless, the winds shift and get a good cold air in here. But yeah, not looking great for a white Christmas here locally, but maybe up in the mountains.
So compare us to other states around the West. So we know we've seen like severe flooding in Washington right now, but are most of the states around us just seeing these drier temperatures, condition, hot temperatures?
Yeah, hotter. To the north, they are seeing wetter conditions. So areas in the northern parts of Idaho and Montana and Washington, I believe they're getting a lot of rain, which is what's led to the flooding there, because there's just so much water coming in, in the mountains, and it's running down the mountains, but it's not cold enough to create that snowpack. Areas further to the south in the western United States, so in Canada, Nevada, us locally, it's just been too dry to actually get any kind of precipitation here. So wherever the atmospheric river is, they're getting more water, but just not enough cold.
We'll keep our fingers crossed
yes,
for hope.
Definitely.
All right. Thanks, Devin.
No problem.
KSL meteorologist Devin Mashuli joining me.
Traffic and weather together, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Crews are cleaning up a crash right in the intersection of Redwood Road and 126 South in Riverton. A KSL traffic trooper texting in the information. It's been blocking traffic and causing some backups in multiple directions. And we also have an accident northbound I-215's West Belt at 7th North. It's been moved out of traffic to the shoulder. The rescue mission of Salt Lake restores lives of homeless and hurting people by addressing the cause of homelessness and helping people return to work. Help Rescue Mission restore lives. Donate at rescuesaltlake.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
My friend Joey loves to use old familiar sayings.
You know what they say.
The problem is,
don't look at a gift horse, cause you can't make them drink.
He gets a lot of them mixed up.
People who live in glass houses,
here it comes,
shouldn't cry over spilt milk.
There are also a lot of sayings in the financial world, like, you'll pay lower taxes in retirement. But for many people, it's just not true. You may have done a great job saving in that 401k or IRA, but Uncle Sam is ready to grab a big portion of that money. The team at Galileo Wealth Management can help with strategies that you can start now to lower your tax bill in the future. More for you and less for Uncle Sam.
Or as they say, an apple a day is worth two in the bush.
Get the facts on your tax bill in retirement. Call Galileo Wealth today at 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online at GalileoWealth.com.
And remember, a stitch in time keeps the doctor away. It does, you know.
If you're ready to buy a home or sell a home and you're worried about the current real estate market because of what you've heard from some of your friends or family, well, we're here to tell you that you really shouldn't be worried because now is a great time to buy and sell with our friends at the Stern Team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
And here's why. Buyers have more options due to increased inventory, which gives them the power to negotiate for repairs, interest rate buy-downs, and closing cost assistance. While at the same time, sellers are still getting top dollar for their homes, with home values that are higher today than ever before. So whether you're looking to buy or sell, the current real estate market presents a win-win opportunity for both buyers and sellers.
But you still do want to make sure that you're working with a team of real estate experts you can trust that can get you some great results. And that's our friends at the Stern Team, powered by Almada Real Estate.
They have helped thousands of Salt Lake City homeowners, and they're ready to help you. To get started, just go to thesternteam.com. That's thesternteam.com or Google The Stern Team.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Or are they promising you up to 10% growth per year, all for your retirement income? If not, then you need to come to Trajan Wealth. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you have a plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hardworking folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't keep working when you're supposed to be retired, and don't let any financial advisor tell you it's too good to be true. Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Annuities, not advisory products. DBA Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
Little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Thanks for tuning in to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Today, new details coming out surrounding the deadly shooting at Hanukkah celebrations in Australia. Police digging into potential motives of the alleged killers who are accused of killing at least 16 people and injuring dozens more. Brad Milkey has the latest in this episode of the Start Here podcast.
The world is still reeling from what we saw on Bondi Beach near Sydney, Australia on Sunday evening. Jewish celebrants marking the first night of Hanukkah suddenly running from a hail of gunfire. 15 people were killed, more than 40 were wounded, and police say it certainly would have been worse if not for the heroics of a local fruit vendor who tackled one of these two shooters, suffering gunshots himself in the process. So, who were these shooters? Authorities say it was a father and son. Only one of them has made it out alive. Well, yesterday, as the nation mourned its dead, Australian police examined why these men had allegedly carried out this attack. ABC's foreign correspondent Britt Clennett has made her way to her home country of Australia. She's there now. Britt, what can you tell us about the suspects?
Hey, Brad. Well, law enforcement sources have told ABC News, actually, that the two shooters are 50-year-old father Sajid Akram and his 24-year-old son Naveed. Now, we understand that the father was killed. The son, however, is wounded. and he's in hospital, we believe.
Early indications point to a terrorist attack inspired by Islamic State, allegedly committed by a father and son.
Sources say they actually pledged allegiance to ISIS and shouted Allahu Akbar while opening fire on Sunday. But authorities also say that 2 ISIS flags, as well as weapons and IEDs, were recovered near the scene.
Wait, so are they saying this was an ISIS-inspired attack, an ISIS-connected attack? Do they have a sense?
Authorities also say that the 2 weren't part of a wider terror cell, but certainly does seem as though, on the surface at least, that they were inspired by ISIS ideology, given what was uncovered.
Right, we've seen it here in the States. We've seen it in so many countries, sort of the worldwide tension right now, especially when you connect it back to the war in Gaza. But, I mean, if this was the work of men who might have seen this as some sort of religious war, it's even more extraordinary, Britt, that it was a Muslim man who saved so many lives by attacking the gunman.
That's right, Brad. We believe he's a Syrian-Australian, Ahmed Al-Ahmed, 43 years old, running at that gunman, seizing his weapon.
He was trying to defend about the people.
I just spoke to his brother, and his brother said, he was just on his way to dinner and he stepped in.
I know my brother, he's a brave one, He's a good man. He have a good heart,
He's very proud of the actions of his brother, and he said, he saw that video and like many people, just was in awe of those actions.
At a moment where we have seen evil perpetrated, he shines out as an example of the strength of humanity.
We saw that dramatic video. He tackled one of those alleged shooters, wrestled that long gun out of his hands, turning it on the suspect. He himself was shot, but we understand that he is stable and recovering in hospital.
After tragedies, people turn to action. Is there any action already underway in Australia following the terror attack? ABC's Britt Clennett is in Australia.
I've come home to a country in shock. I mean, we are not used to mass shootings here. That's just the way it is, and I think this has kind of shattered this false sense of security.
Australia will never submit to division, violence or hatred, and we will come through this together.
You speak to people in the Jewish community here. I have friends who live 5 minutes away from Bondi Beach. They know people that were at that event, that Hanukkah event, and they are not just in shock, they are seething.
This was an attack deliberately targeted at the Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah.
They are angry that since October 7th, they say, that they have not been protected by their government. Now, there is a debate ongoing about that, but certainly the people I speak to at the vigil, including one whose father was shot, he was a Holocaust survivor. She told me that she feels as though the government hasn't been aware of the protection of Jewish people in this country, given anti-Semitism has been on the rise. So certainly it's sparking that debate. Also, a debate about gun laws in this country.
I'm determined to bring in the toughest gun laws in Australia, and they'll be significantly tightened.
Brad, we have some of the strictest gun laws in the world. We had one massacre in 1996, and the government at the time swiftly moved to impose very strict bans on semi-automatic weapons. Those reforms, which took just months to come into legislation, they led to a dramatic decline in gun crime for decades. As I say, this country is now in shock, and the brutal attack is really forcing some introspection. And, in a place where shootings are relatively rare. We don't know all the details about the weapons used, whether they were obtained legally, but certainly for some gun safety advocates, they believe that it's time to step up gun control laws even further.
That's ABC's Britt Clennett on the Start Here podcast. In the wake of the deadly shooting in Australia, the Jewish community in Utah continues to come together. Sunday night's Hanukkah celebrations were a somber but still celebratory time. Last night, on the second night of Hanukkah, the celebrations held a more powerful meeting, the lighting of the menorah, a kind of symbol of defiance.
Not almost in defiance. We're holding it in defiance to what happened in Australia. Complete defiance. We will never cower to hatred to bigotry, to threats. This is in total defiance.
Rabbi Benny Zippel spoke to KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff at the menorah lighting at Thanksgiving Point last night. He says that he understands that there are disagreements in the world and we won't always see eye to eye. But he says those differences are never cause for violence against Jews or any people.
People are to be aware of the godly element that is found within every single one of us. We may look different, we may have different skin color, we may practice different religions, but we should never forget that we were all created in God's image. And we are entitled to disagree. We're not expected to all agree with one another. It would be utopian to all agree with one another. We can disagree, but we can disagree with one another in a loving fashion. I can say to you, hey, Todd, I disagree with you politically, religiously, whatever it is, but I still love you. The problem becomes when we allow our disagreements to get violent and to take away creatures of God, shooting people and taking away lives based on our differences. That's when it becomes a serious problem.
That is Utah Rabbi Benny Zippel. Tonight, Jews in Utah and around the world will celebrate the third night of Hanukkah.
1:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. A man is accused of stealing thousands of dollars worth of medical equipment from a Lehigh hospital. KSL News Radio's Brianna Willis reports.
Police say in the span of 2 weeks, Jason Bronner took over $25,000 of medical supplies from Holy Cross Mountain Point Hospital. He would come in at night wearing scrubs and a surgical mask. Police found he got into several badge-restricted areas because the doors had been taped open. NBC Los Angeles reports he took over $100,000 worth of supplies from at least 3 hospitals there.
Bronner had been on parole for taking supplies from Heber Valley Hospital in 2023. And we now have breaking news. The Trump administration is expanding its travel ban to include 5 more countries. The Trump administration has now added Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria to the list of countries whose citizens are banned from entering the U.S. The decision follows the arrest of an Afghan national suspect in the shooting of 2 National Guard troops over Thanksgiving weekend. A lawsuit seeking to stop construction of the new White House ballroom is before a judge today.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation argues that no president should be able to tear down parts of the White House or build additions without expert review, public comment, and approval from Congress. In its filings, the administration insists the president has the legal authority to construct the ballroom, and with the plan still not final, the White House says it will seek the input of planners before above-ground construction starts in April. The court papers also have the Secret Service warning of potential harm to national security if the project is halted.
That's ABC News' Stephen Portnoy reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 244 points. The S&P is down 11 points. And coming up, a storm moves out the haze. KSL weather is next. KSL News time, 1:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
Mr. Max, suiting for every important chapter of your life. Weddings, proms, new job, any celebration, mission callings, and more. Mr. Max there to suit your needs with 9 locations or MrMac.com.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. Mm-hmm. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
One Kind Act a Day is a program from the Semnani Family Foundation.
One Kind Act a Day seeks to create kinder communities by inspiring daily acts of deliberate kindness. Their work includes programs in schools, businesses, communities, faith groups, and prisons where they help enhance the culture of kindness and increase a sense of community. The world always needs more kindness. No matter what our background or beliefs are, kindness towards others and ourselves is something that everyone can get behind. Kindness can be big or small, but the ripple effect can reach out in ways that we don't even realize. Wouldn't life be better if we were all a little more kind? You can do your part by starting today. All it takes is one kind act a day. Find out more and take the pledge of kindness at thepowerofkind.org. That's thepowerofkind.org.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
In Riverton, crews are still working to clean up a crash at the intersection of Redwood Road and 126 South. And the accident that we had on I-215's west belt going northbound at about 700 North, it remains out of traffic on the shoulder and in the final clearing stages. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Partly cloudy and hazy this afternoon. Tomorrow, a storm moves out the haze. We'll see showers and breeze, then back to cloudy skies on Thursday. Right now, it is 50 and mostly cloudy. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com, we're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
You were listening to a replay of an earlier episode of Midday with Maria Shilaos. Thanks for tuning in to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Several audits finding morale problems in multiple police departments across the state. The latest audit dealing with the South Salt Lake Police Department. The audits for South Salt Lake and Salt Lake City Police Department pointing out several reasons for the lower morale, including problems with communication, discipline, and trust. While the audits focused on specific police forces, it's part of a larger trend being seen at departments around the country. I wanted to get more insights into the specific morale challenges facing law enforcement, so I spoke with former Salt Lake City Police Chief Chris Burbank.
I think what we're seeing across the nation is we are developing, again, a very strong mistrust of policing in general, and that is failure to adhere to the Constitution, right? Access to attorneys, everything else that you see going on across the nation. And a lot of it right now is at a federal level that we see these violations and these concerns, but that all trickles down to local law enforcement. Are you cooperating, right? Are you holding people in jail if you're the sheriff? Are you, showing up to assist? All these things weigh really heavy on police officers, especially those individuals that are looking to really make a difference in their community and participate in a level of trust and communication that is essential to local law enforcement.
And that is really tough. I mean, the officers are the ones on the streets actually meeting face-to-face with people.
Well, and the officers always suffer in these circumstances, right? When the administration, when leadership is not legitimate, it's the officers who get the blame. It's the officers who are out there encountering the public and dealing with everyone on a daily basis, not necessarily the leaders.
How do you fear that, low morale will impact public safety and these officers and their performance?
Well, this notion of morale is such a nebulous kind of out there thing. But I think what we see is when officers become disheartened, right, when they don't feel they have the support of the community, you see shortcuts, you see not willingness to do work, not willing to, right? These are the times when officers, they go, why am I just pulling over to help this person, right? They're just going to get upset with me and report me about something wrong anyway. And so so the goodness in law enforcement, right, the empathy and the compassion is what you lose when the officers lose faith and trust in the work that they're doing.
So is there a way that administrators can improve this morale if this is something that's going across, this is kind of a theme across the country? What do local folks do to improve morale?
Well, absolutely, right? And I will tell you, I believe wholeheartedly that this is a leadership dilemma. This is not an officer dilemma, Right? If we're blaming the officers for this, we are making a crucial error. So this is up to leadership to be out in the community, to assure, to support officers, right? To make sure that, one, there's accountability, there's also credibility, and there's also follow-through from the leadership. And all those things play together, right? When the leader is at the forefront, right? Lead. This is not sit in an office and hand out decrees or hide from the media. This is when you make your presence known, when you show up with your officers, when you participate, when you make sure that they have the resources that they need to do the job, and they feel, at a bare minimum, you as the leader are supporting them.
Should the public be concerned about these two audits that say morale is down?
So the challenge that I have with these audits is when you look, right, what were the questions asked? Was it voluntary? Because when you do a voluntary thing, you get the people who are most unhappy usually to stand up and say, timing on this is not good either, right? I don't know when these were actually conducted, but now is a difficult time in law enforcement, right? Everybody's feeling the pressure of the holidays and, economy, everything else is going on. So that can play into that. But I think the public should be concerned from the standpoint of we, as the police department, as the public, as a community, need to participate together for the safety and well-being of our communities. We have too many people right now who are just saying, well, that's not affecting me, so I'm not going to get in the middle of it or do anything. No, now is the time that we stand up and say, no, this is how we want to be policed. This is how we want to participate. This is how we're going to support our law enforcement to make sure that everybody has their rights protected.
Chris Burbank is the former chief of police in Salt Lake City. The audits released this week said many departments around the area are at a critical crossroad. New research shows homelessness is still on the rise here in Utah, and experts say they are seeing more women and children become part of that trend. A study released today from the Utah Women in Leadership Project finds that the costs of housing and rent play a major part in this increased rate of homelessness. I spoke with the director, Dr. Susan Madsen, to find out what other things played a role in this.
In Utah, it's similar to the nation. And I'll tell you, the affordable housing crisis is worsening. Of course, we know in Utah, but across the nation. And actually, I think it's interesting in the research we did that really since 2019, there's been a 23% increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness for the first time. So a lot of times we think about those that are chronic, experiencing chronic homelessness, but because of the affordability of not just housing, that's one of the biggest things, but you and I have already talked about childcare and the cost of childcare, but other costs have increased as well. I'm amazed at how many people here in the state of Utah have actually, we've been looking for data on finances, but so many people don't have even $1,000 of emergency funding. And so for many people, and of course we emphasize women, but homelessness among men is even more significant than women. But we have seen more women with children go into that homelessness state as well. So the cost of living is one of them. Of course, for we know through the years that mental health and other kinds of experiences like that are things that drive people into homelessness as well.
So the big takeaway here is just the financial pressures on the families that you believe are causing this sharp increase.
I think that's there's just barriers to securing housing, but the mental health, of course, the chronic health conditions. Those that have physical disabilities end up being in there, substance use. So there's a lot of health, mental, physical kinds of health things as well. But I'll tell you that securing housing in general has been more challenging for so many people. You do see more housing here in Utah with multiple families, and at least that gives them housing. But we have so many that in the thousands that have been affected and are being effective. And we've seen increases across the board in homelessness in the state of Utah and nationally.
So what is the big takeaway as far as solutions? What needs to be happening to help with this crisis?
Well, Utah's in the middle of lots of discussions already because this is key. What we did in our report was really, let's separate this. Homelessness for women looks different most of the time from homelessness for men. So our solutions need to be, handled differently. So when you make solutions for everybody across the board, it doesn't take into account. So, of course, more state and local resources should be allocated to help Utahns facing that high rent and home prices and the other things as well, which means legislative solutions as well. I think we as Utahns, and I think we're a giving state, we can step forward and support the community action centers across the state, the food banks across the state. Those things help, even though that's just a piece of homelessness. But there's some really critical discussions that are happening and need to happen to figure out how do we solve this at a bigger issue. And Maria, one of the things that I've been told by experts the last few years is that this is actually not rocket science. There's places that have solved this. And so we need to do that. We can solve this issue in the state of Utah.
Dr. Susan Madsen is the director of the Utah Women and Leadership Project at Utah State University.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Salt Lake International is the place to be if you have holiday travel plans. Travel insurance resource Squaremouth has listed Salt Lake International as the second most reliable airport in the country. Executive Director of Airports Bill Wyatt says it comes down to our new spacious runways and facilities, along with the fact that they are prepared for any kind of weather.
Obviously feel very good about that because it's one of the stress points of travel is whether or not your flight's going to be on time. And in many cases, you got connections to make, which makes it even more challenging. And I think, the thing is, when you live in a place like this, which is subject to inclement weather, particularly snow, we're used to it. So we're very prepared. And there are a lot of airports in places, think about Atlanta, which I always think about as coming from the warm part of the country, but it does occasionally snow there, just not enough to go out and make the investment that is required to actually fight the snow. Here, that was done long ago. We've had no illusions about the prospect of dealing with the weather, and we do so, and that's one factor. The other big factor is this is a brand new state-of-the-art airport that is designed to be a really efficient hub, and that makes a difference. Planes don't have to wait for one another to get out of the way. Everybody can come and go when the time requires.
Wyatt tells KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson, surprisingly, he doesn't think the airport will be busier this next week, but lines could be more congested because of the type of travelers during Christmas.
Christmas travel is really interesting, holiday travel generally, because people assume that it's our busiest time of the year, and it's actually not. What's different about Christmas is the nature of the people who are traveling. It's mom and dad and the kids who maybe haven't been on a plane for a year and kind of remember and kind of don't the processes for doing all of this. And so, our staff in the terminal buildings and around will be prepared, doing that kind of mental switch over from the business traveler who's out here 3 weeks, a month, and knows everything about the business to people who are a little less prepared and equipped. The airport is really beautiful this time of year. Our staff goes out of their way to create a really welcome holiday environment, and it's something I know the kids love because I experience it every day. And so I feel like we're ready.
Andy says families have been super appreciative of the airport's holiday spirit.
We have a large polar bear up in the third level ticket lobby, and I don't walk out that door because our office door is very close to that. I don't walk out our door ever without seeing it surrounded by kids and parents getting pictures. And I think the airport is more of a welcoming space than I imagined it would be. And I think dressing up for the holidays the way that we do really makes a difference for families, particularly families with young ones who see the nutcrackers, who see the Christmas tree, the decorations, the polar bears, everything about it, and just kind of adds to the spirit a little bit, which is helpful because, as I said earlier, traveling can be stressful. So part of our job is to reduce as much of that as possible.
And why it still advises travelers to play it safe and arrive earlier than usual for their flights.
And Weather Together, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Valley Freeway traffic scene, a delay-free drive, and we're in the final cleanup stages of the Riverton crash at the intersection of Redwood Road and 126 South. A tow truck is at the scene, and there are some residual backups at the intersection. Looking for the ultimate holiday gift? That's what you get at Minky Couture, the original luxury blanket company. Use code KSL50 online and in stores to receive 50% off. Visit minkycouture.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Well, the holidays are really here. Things are speeding up. I know exactly what we all need to do, and that's head into the Western Nut Company. I'm here with Sarah, and you can take care of it all.
We love the holidays, and we try to make it seamless for our customers to enjoy our gift baskets and our fudge and our brittle and all the things that make it the holidays.
Western Nut is perfect for corporate giving and also for your family and your friends and your neighbors.
For corporate gifting, we have a team that's ready to take your list and ship it right from our store.
You know what I love is Dee and I go into Western Nut and the mothership, which is right there on 4th and 3rd West. And we just let you guys take care of it all. We select the gift and you guys ship them off, especially to Dee's family in Missouri.
Western Nut's been doing this since 1966, and we've got it down. All the things that you need to cover everybody on your list.
A good place to start is by going online at westernnut.com. That's westernut.com.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
Many people worry they're not making the right investment choices inside their 401ks. Did you know that you might have a little-known opportunity to add some additional investment choices to your 401k and get the help and recommendations you've been looking for? This exciting feature is called a self-directed brokerage window. And the best part? The money still stays within your 401k. Learn how the trusted advisors at Capital Wealth may be able to expand your investment portfolio. To learn more, call or text the word VISIT to 801-877-9800 or go to CapitalWealth401k.com. Improving your 401k might mean the difference of retiring a few years earlier. Let's find out. Schedule your no-cost 15-minute consultation with the Capital Wealth team today. Call or text the word VISIT to 801-877-9800 or go to CapitalWealth401k.com. Advisory services offered through Capital Wealth Advisors, LLC, a state of Utah registered investment advisor.
Pros don't just show up. They prove how it's done, with precision and without shortcuts. Makita tools are built the same way, with a dedication to lasting quality. trusted performance, and results that reward your effort year after year. When the job calls for the best, call on Makita. Built to be the best. Available at the Home Depot.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
This Friday from 10 to 1, the movie show comes to Sound Sleep. But first, take time to learn about a better night's rest. Sound Sleep delivers oral appliance therapy that treats sleep apnea without the use of CPAP machines. They're professionally fit, warranted, and covered by most major medical insurance. End the days of a poor night's sleep. With offices from Clearfield to St. George, Sound Sleep will help. Call Sound Sleep at 801-716-8672 today.
You were listening to a replay of an earlier episode of Midday with Maria Shilaos. This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Utahns are very familiar with the Osmond family singers and their mark on the entertainment industry, but this spring, they'll get a behind-the-scenes look at how the family became one of the most popular singing groups of the 1970s. The Osmonds, a new musical, will make its North American premiere in Provo this spring. Now, preparations are underway now for opening night, which takes place on March 12th at the Covey Center for the Arts. Jay Osmond joined me to talk about what inspired him to write this musical about his family.
I've always thought it would be so cool to tell my story through my eyes in a musical. But I wanted to catch the vision of my parents, basically. I wanted to really set the stage for how they saw our family. And some people thought, we're the perfect family, but I wanted the people to know that we're not, and we had our differences and our problems and just like every other family. Somehow we came across this because we worked so hard on our music and our dancing and our musicianship and to get that perfect. But behind the scenes, I wanted to show the family as a real family who struggled with everything like every other family does. So I went and put the stories together that because of how great my parents were and how they saw that and gave us tools to work things out. When you say the word harmony, we in our family meant that in two different ways. Harmony, of course, in the vocal and singing, which we worked so hard on. But we also worked on harmony as a family because we had our struggles. And I wanted to put each one of my family members, how I saw them, and the struggles and the victory and the things that they overcame, and to show people the realness of my family and some of the struggles we went through, not only as a family, but individually. And what gave me great peace is when we had the musical in the UK, people walked out of there saying, I thought I knew your family, but now I love your family because of what you went through. And then it was also cool to hear people say, your story is kind of like my story, and I can relate to you, and you were there when I was struggling, and your music pulled me through. And as a family, we were on a mission together. Our mission was faith first, family second, and our career third. And then there's a character which I love. Her name is Wendy, and she plays the fan who grows up with us. And you can see how she relates to us and the things that she went through. And the fans played such a big part in our life. My mother, she always said, don't you ever forget who got you there. And don't you forget why we're doing this. My father and mother were very mission-driven, very disciplined, and very good people. And you can't show all that without the hard things. So there are some real hard things in there, but the end is, it's just amazing.
So, Jay, what will people be most surprised to see in the musical?
I don't think there really are surprises because everything that has been out there on in books or movies is in the musical. They may be surprised to see how much respect that we all had for our parents and for each other and how we had each other's backs. Because my father was a military sergeant, and he raised us like soldiers. And And there's some fun things in there and some hard things that you'll see in the musical that kind of show you that. I wanted to give everyone just a little peek of what I saw growing up and what can I do to lift others. And that was the very purpose of why we did what we did, was to go out to help other families be lifted. And that was the goal, really, that show you that we weren't perfect. And even at the end, my mother said, you know, Jay, when she's talking to Jay, the character Jay, nobody's perfect, not even the Osmonds. Oh, it breaks everybody's heart. But I even get emotional when I talk about it. It shows you how hard it was growing up, being the family out there singing together, working together.
Such a famous family. Why not do this exclusive North American premiere in New York City? Why Provo?
Because it all started there for me. Provo is where my heart was, and there's a lot of stuff in there that are from Provo that I put in this musical. And so I thought Provo would be the perfect place to start it in America.
Jay, why should people see this musical?
I think because now more than ever, families are really struggling. And it gives you some ideas on how we handled tough situations.
Okay, so what is the song that comes to mind when you think of the boy band, the Osmonds? I think One Bad Apple's the one that comes to my mind. Of course, there's Go Away Little Girl, but that was really a Donny Osmond hit that reached #1 on the Hot 100 chart. And the Osmonds, the new musical, opens on March 12th at the Covey Center for the Arts.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City. This is KSL News Radio, Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
2 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Claire Scott. KSL's top story this hour. New research shows more women and children are experiencing homelessness around the country and here in Utah. KSL News Radio's Adam Small has more.
The Utah Women in Leadership Project found homelessness among U.S. families with children rose just under 40% between 2023 and 2024. That's the largest single-year increase ever recorded. And project founder and director Dr. Susan Madsen says Utah is following trends like that, and the growing cost of housing is a big reason why.
Since 2019, there's been a 23% increase in the number of people experiencing homelessness for the first time.
Dr. Madsen also says mental health, disabilities, domestic violence, and other factors are contributing to this trend. She thinks we not only need to invest more resources into making things more affordable, but also take a unique approach to helping both men and women.
Homelessness for women looks different most of the time from homelessness for men. So our solutions need to be, handled differently.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Authorities are still on the hunt for the person responsible for opening fire on the campus of Brown University.
All we know from the FBI at this point is that this person of interest is being described as a man with a 5'8", roughly stocky build. And they are back here at the school. The FBI agents and police officers that we have been seeing here for the last couple of days, sort of trying to retrace his steps. And these new images, they are clearer than the original surveillance videos that we originally saw. We see this man dressed in black, but he has a face mask on and a beanie. We really can't see much of him.
ABC's Rena Roy in Providence. And coming up, possible showers. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time 2:02.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join, because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything! The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
A nice drive on all the Valley freeways, but in Bountiful, we do have an accident blocking right lanes. This is 5th West near Highway 89. It's going to be just to the east of I-15. Advanced Window Products offers Graber window coverings, high-end quality with the best warranty. Save 30% off when you mention KSL. AdvancedWindows.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
We're expecting rain and wind to move in tomorrow and disperse the inversion settled over the Salt Lake Valley. Temperatures remain in the low to mid-50s through the rest of the week. Right now it is 52 and mostly cloudy. I'm Claire Scott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Thanks for tuning in to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. You may have seen signature gatherers out and about trying to collect signatures to repeal Proposition 4, which created the Independent Redistricting Commission. Now you may see more signature gatherers throughout Salt Lake County as one group works to repeal a property tax increase recently approved by the County Council.
A group of Salt Lake County residents filed for the referendum yesterday. Casey Gale tells KSL the 15% property tax increase is just too much.
I feel like there's a tipping point, and we've far surpassed that tipping point.
They now have 39 days to gather 56,000 signatures. If they are successful, the property tax will appear on the ballot for voters to decide. The county says they need the increase to keep county services running. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
Others involved in the referendum process say it's not just about the money. There are personal motivations to stopping this tax increase. Elvira Alger joined me to explain her reasons for supporting the referendum.
So I think that is another example of death by thousand cuts. Every time it's more and more and more. Even if it's $5 per month, I don't see why they cannot cut more taxes when they have so many employees at the city. And we never have a reduction. I would like to see a 5% reduction. It's just like we cannot keep going with all these expenses.
Yeah, you mentioned death by 1,000 cuts. Explain how these tax increases impact your family.
Well, it's the daily life. You know, it's $5 over here, $5 over there, and then you have to start cutting your own things like I may not be able to go to restaurants I used to go, or maybe have to cut the movie theaters, or maybe we have to cut the services for the gardener because every month there's a new increase. And as a Republican, conservative, Hispanic, this is not what I vote for. I mean, I feel that I'm voting for Democrats to be raising taxes, and that's not the case.
Do you have some particular areas, though, that you think that they should cut?
Well, I think that the property taxes should never go up, and I think that they can cut taxes on employees. You know, they have too many employees, too well paid, better paid than in private sector. So I think that that's an area that they can work with.
So tell me your role in this referendum, and what will you be doing to hopefully get the county to change their mind?
Well, first, I will be working on getting signatures. Second, I think that I will be working with the Hispanic community. I'm pretty mad about what Amy called Carlos. Amy, the Salt Lake County member, she called Carlos Moreno a Venezuelan and a chauvinist because he refused to vote just for the tax increase. So this is very offensive for the Hispanic community. So I will be working with the Republican Party or whoever is going to be gathering signatures to make this happen. We cannot allow this to happen. You know, as a Hispanic conservative, we support the party, but we cannot be calling names other people just because they don't go our way. Either we are part of the party or we are not.
How's the council responding to this push? Here's KSL News Radio's Andy Cupp.
When the council voted to approve the property tax increase last week, Councilmember Amy Winder-Newton explained how the council was able to lessen the original proposed increase, which was close to 20%.
This year, we did something that no council has ever done in Salt Lake County, and that is we found $12.4 million in ongoing general fund expenses that could take this property tax down. We're looking at more like 14.9%, I believe. I don't know if we know the exact percentage yet, because we've been working our tails off trying to find those cuts. We've done things like freezing the salaries of elected officials and doing limited pay raises, reducing positions in the mayor's office. Clark Planetarium was a property tax levy within our tax rate. We feel like that's a nice to have, not a statutory core responsibility of the county. And so we're moving that over to use tourism tax funds to fund that. We have ended programs no longer covered by COVID funds. We've streamlined property taxes to look more at our core responsibilities specifically related to criminal justice, and that's where some of the daycare cuts came in. So anyway, there's some things like that we've been looking at that to try to get back to our core responsibilities. And it's been hard. We've worked really hard to try to do this.
One of the allegations made against Winder-Newton earlier dealt with comments she supposedly made during the council meeting. For clarification and to provide some context.
We are getting an update right now from officials in LA on the murder of director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle. Let's listen in.
Without bail. Now, in announcing these charges, I also want to announce that they're just that. They are charges. Charges are not evidence. Evidence is something that we will be presenting in a court of law to meet the standard of proof we meet in every criminal case, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, to 12 jurors who will unanimously have to find that we've met that standard to prove the charges we bring to court. Right now, with respect to the process, once the charges get filed this afternoon, Nick Reiner will be then brought to court. He is going through medical clearance, something that everybody who gets arrested and gets held in a Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department jail goes through. Once he is medically cleared, he will be brought to court to be arraigned on these charges. At that point, he will enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. Now, prosecuting these cases involving family members are some of the most challenging and most heart-wrenching cases that this office faces because of the intimate and often brutal nature of the crimes involved. Rob Reiner was a brilliant actor and director, an iconic force in our entertainment industry for decades. His wife, Michelle Singer Reiner, was an equally iconic photographer and producer. Their loss is beyond tragic, and we will commit ourselves to bringing their murderer to justice. I want to thank LAPD Chief McDonnell, who is here today, along with Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton from the LAPD, and LAPD Captain Scott Williams, and the entire robbery homicide division, who literally has been working around the clock to gather the evidence that have led to the charges we're going to be filing today. Also from my office, I have Assistant District Attorney Maria Ramirez. I have Director of Specialized Prosecutions John McKinney. I have our Head Deputy of Major Crimes Craig Hum. And I have the two prosecutors who will be leading the prosecution in this case, Assistant Head Deputy of Major Crimes Habib Balian and Deputy District Attorney for Major Crimes Jonathan Chung. They will bring their decades of experience to holding this murderer accountable for his actions. At this point, again, you will hear in the media rumors, you will hear speculation, you will hear hearsay. What I'm asking everyone to do is to rely on trusted sources. If it doesn't come from the District Attorney's Office, from LAPD, from the Coroner's Office, or from the courtroom itself, then there's a good chance you are hearing misinformation. Because at the appropriate time, the actual evidence involved in this case will be presented in a court of law. So I ask for your patience until that is done. But again, please do not rely on rank speculation, rumor, or hearsay to believe that you understand anything about what went on in this case. I'd now like to turn it over to Chief McDonald.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. And it's with deep sadness that I address the tragic loss of Robert and Michelle Reiner. On December 14th, 2025, LAPD officers from our West Los Angeles division responded to a death investigation at the 200 block of South Chadbourne Avenue, which is in the Brentwood section of Los Angeles. Upon entering the residence, they discovered the bodies of Mr. and Mrs. Reiner. Detectives from our Robbery Homicide Division Homicide Special Section immediately initiated a comprehensive investigation. The evidence gathered led to the arrest of their son, Nick Reiner, who was taken into custody later that night without incident in the Exposition Park section of our city. Today, the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has formally filed charges against Mr. Reiner for the murder of his parents. This case is heartbreaking and deeply personal, not only for the Reiner family and their loved ones, but for our entire city. We extend our deepest condolences to all of those who were affected by this tragedy. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office led by D.A. Hochman, and everyone who worked tirelessly on this investigation. Their swift action, professionalism, and commitment to justice have been instrumental in bringing clarity and accountability to this case. The LAPD remains steadfast in our mission to protect life and uphold justice. We will continue to support the Reiner family and ensure that every step forward is taken with care, dignity, and resolve. Thank you.
We'll now take some questions.
Chief, a question.
Yes, right here in the front.
Yeah, Mr. Attorney, could you talk about why you feel this case rises to special circumstances?
So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have two, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
Chief,
I saw
how
over
was
here.
Nick Reiner found, and was there any evidence on him indicating a crime, and did he say anything?
Yeah, he was found with good, solid police work, investigative tools used by Robbery Homicide and Gang and Narcotic Division detectives with the U.S. Marshal Service Task Force involved as well. So we're thankful for the work that was done. I won't go into talking about what was found or anything that could potentially taint the investigation.
Chief,
Yeah.
given Nick's history of drug use, was there any indication that he was under the influence at the time of his crime?
No, thank you again. That's another question I can't touch.
Chief,
Do you see an absence of mental illness in his background?
I'm sorry, please repeat the question.
Is there any evidence of mental illness in his background beyond the addiction?
The evidence, any evidence, if there is any, of mental illness for his background will be coming out in the hearings that will occur. We anticipate again after the arraignment.
Okay, that was just an update from officials in LA about the murder of Rob Reiner and his wife. They have announced charges against their son, Nick Reiner. And we're continuing our earlier discussion on the referendum drive to repeal a property tax increase from the Salt Lake County Council. I'm Claire Scott. One of the allegations made against council member Amy Winder Newton dealt with comments she supposedly made during the council meeting. For clarification and to provide context, here's a bit of the conversation at the end of last week's meeting, just before the vote between Winder Newton and council member Carlos Moreno.
Be a no vote on the budget, but Carlos, you said you think we can cut further, and yet you've never brought up a single proposed cut. That a lot of the cuts were found by others of us. So is your no vote because you just don't, you want to be able to say you didn't vote for a property tax increase, or is there something that are there potential cuts that you want to make tonight? It's about $38 million you'd need to come up with in order to avoid it. I'd love to hear any ideas that you have along those lines.
Do you remember when I come back, when I came here with the idea to bring more the community to be part of these decisions, and 7 of you say no about that? I don't know. I am not an expert in many things, but I know that many of these guys are experts in some areas. That's why I try to bring that policy to have the community support me making good decisions. You have been here more than a decade, and always we have a tax increase, and always we don't have anything better. That's why we need more solution. We need a better solution, and we need to be more organized to make those decisions.
Before the meeting adjourned, Winder Newton had one more thing to say, directing her comments towards the rest of the council, excluding Councilmember Moreno.
I just want to tell all of you colleagues who supported this budget and who've worked so hard on it how much I appreciate working with you. I know we don't always agree, and it's a partisan body, and so it gets a little tricky sometimes, but this county needs workhorses, not show horses, and you 7 are those, and I appreciate working with you. Thank you.
Andy Cupp, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. If you are making your way on any of the Valley freeways right now, we have good speeds and no problems reported. We still have the cleanup reported in Bountiful. This is going to be 500 west at Highway 89, blocking a right lane, but traffic is able to get around without too much difficulty. Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Holidays are here, the countdown to Christmas, and it's time for you to make your reservations at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. I have to tell you how festive it is, whether it's downtown Salt Lake City at 275 Southwest Temple or up at Hotel Park City. Just the atmosphere, the decor, it is spectacular at Ruth's Chris. Now, as great as that ambiance is, you're there for a steak, right? You're there for a great, great meal. And Ruth's Chris Steakhouse never disappoints. Pick out that perfect steak. It will be cooked to perfection, and it's not just steaks. They have the seafood and the poultry and other dishes and the desserts at this time of year, the side dishes. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, the perfect place to celebrate the holidays this year. And don't forget, the perfect stocking stuffer, a gift card from Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now, Have a tax problem, not a money problem? There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370, or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The holidays are just around the corner, and Western Nut Company is here to make your gifting a breeze. From our beautiful gift baskets and nut boxes to our famous in-house fudge and brittle, we've got treats for every taste bud, crafted with the highest quality ingredients. Corporate gifting, that's our specialty. Just send us your list and we'll handle the rest. Beautifully packed, shipped with care, and guaranteed to impress. Calling all office managers or executive assistants. Call Western Nut now and let us make your holidays a little less nuts. But we actually do want you to eat more nuts. For 60 years, Western Nut has been a proud Utah tradition. Stop by our downtown shop for unique gifts, glittering ornaments, festive decor, and so much more. Western Nut Company, more than just the best gifts in Utah. We're a holiday tradition, in-store or online at westernut.com, where quality meets tradition, and every gift is packed with love.
1-877 Cars for Kids, KARS Cars for Kids, 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's our last chance to donate for 2025.
Thanks for tuning in to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. As the weather cools, the leaves fall, and the snow starts to pile up in the mountains, Utahns are taking to the hills to gather antler sheds.
Every year, big game animals like deer, elk, and moose will drop their existing antlers, and then they'll grow a new set of antlers in the spring. So that's kind of a popular pastime for a lot of people, is they'll go out and try and find those shed antlers on the ground after these big game animals have dropped them. So typically that happens, around anytime from, late fall to spring, essentially. So people will often go kind of during that winter or early spring time frame to go look for the shed antlers.
Faith Heaton-Jolly with Utah Division of Wildlife Resources says while it's a great time to collect the sheds, it's also a crucial and sensitive time for the big game. She tells KSL News Radio's Britt Johnson that because of this, the state requires anyone who wants to gather antler sheds to complete a short ethics course.
Just as they're, having a harder time finding food during this time of year, and so they're running on fat reserves. So because of this, we require in Utah everybody that wants to go collect these shed antlers between January 1st and May 31st, they are required to take a mandatory educational course. And so essentially it just kind of teaches you how to ethically look for these antlers so that you're not disturbing these animals that are kind of vulnerable this time of year, but then also so you're doing it responsibly, so you're not inadvertently tearing up or destroying habitat as you're out looking for these antlers too.
Jolly says there are more than 20,000 people who routinely shed hunt here in Utah.
Kind of the biggest concern that we run into is just a lot of people out on the landscape looking for these antlers during this time frame that deer and elk, particularly are very vulnerable. And so usually if it's a one-off disturbance, and you spook a deer and it has to run away or whatever, that's not a huge deal, but it's the repeated disturbances, continually these deer having to run or move or whatever, they can often burn up those fat reserves and the energy that they need to survive through the winter when they have these limited food sources. And so that's kind of why we want people to be aware of that, so they're a little more cognizant on how they shed hunt, when they shed hunt, how to do it responsibly so they're not disturbing deer and causing some of those impacts. And then, like I mentioned, one of the other things that we see is just because it is this time of year that they're losing their antlers, there is often snow, the ground will be wet and muddy and things like that. And so if you're driving four-wheelers or ATVs or things like that on some of this wet dirt, it can often tear up the landscape and the habitat that these animals also need. And so just kind of reminding people how to minimize their impacts so that they're not ruining habitat in some of these areas that we have our wintering deer and elk, and they need that, sagebrush and things to survive.
The course is free and is available on the DWR's website. If you do go shed hunting, you must carry proof that you have completed the course.
It's 2:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Cameron Elliott. KSL's top national story this hour. We have a developing story. Prosecutors have announced the charges against Nick Reiner, son of Rob and Michelle Reiner, who were found stabbed to death in their home earlier this week. Nick Reiner, 32, is being charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and it is unknown at this time whether the death penalty is going to be pursued. Other national stories KSL is following. 2 reports released today after a look at the nation's employment picture. Here's ABC News.
Because the government shutdown earlier this year halted work at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the latest jobs report actually combines 2 consecutive months of data. It shows that 64,000 jobs were added to the economy last month, slightly above expectations, with the unemployment rate ticking up slightly to 4.6%. Meanwhile, the advance estimate of retail sales showed little change from September to October. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Our top local story this hour, a man with autism is missing out of Salt Lake City again, just days after he was found. The mother of August Beckwith says he was discharged from the hospital yesterday after he'd been missing for weeks. She says he has no shoes, no phone, no money, and wandered off near State Street and 2nd Avenue. August is nonverbal and is considered a vulnerable adult. Coming up, it's 53 and cloudy. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 2:31.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Need to replace your Social Security card? In most states, you can request one online with a My Social Security account. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can also get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s,
affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America Diesel Triple Rewards. Here's Ricky Meese.
For those who are traveling any of the Valley freeways, we do have traffic filling in and slowing down already on the southbound drive of I-15 between 5300 and 7200 South. Step aboard history, walk through recreations, see real artifacts, and feel the legacy of Titanic, the exhibition. Open now at the shops at Southtown in Sandy. Tickets at thetitanicexhibition.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
This week's highs will be in the mid to low 50s and lows in the low 40s, except for tonight with a low of 29. There's also a high wind advisory in effect. Right now, it's 53 and cloudy. I'm Cameron Elliott from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Immigrant advocacy groups in Utah are pushing back against stepped-up immigration enforcement, not through protests, but through storefront signs meant to educate workers and ease fear. The signs are popping up in places like West Valley City and Salt Lake, and supporters say they are about empowerment, not confrontation. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera has been talking with the organizers behind the campaign, and he joins me now. Eric? First of all, what are these signs and why are we seeing them now?
Maria, organizers say this really comes down to fear. They're hearing from workers who are scared to show up to work because they don't know what could happen if immigration agents appear. The campaign is being led by groups like Indivisible Utah, and organizer Sarah Buck told me it actually started in a much quieter way.
And the idea was to educate businesses on how they can protect their employees when they're at work. And it also felt like it was an opportunity to just kind of get the Know Your Rights training out. I mean, so many things come through our workplace, and this is an opportunity for us to educate employees on their rights. And so that was how it started. And then because West Valley is seeing some of the aggressive tactics of ICE, they redesigned the sign. And it doesn't just say employees, it says ICE out of Utah, and it's very much, like it's saying we know our rights, I think, is what the sign is doing. It's putting ICE on notice.
She says what began as a simple reminder about private workspaces quickly shifted as enforcement activity increased.
The sign has a QR code, and when you go to the QR code, it has the Know Your Rights training in Spanish and English, and it has what the warrants look like and what a valid warrant looks like, whereas one from Homeland Security is not a valid warrant to come into a private place. So it's, again, I think that it is really powerful when people start to recognize they have a way to push back.
Buck also says that access to information can change how people approach work, especially when fear is the biggest barrier. Later, she explained this isn't just about sending a message. It's also about keeping workplaces functioning.
The focus really is on the reality of a business owner has a space where they can help protect their employees. And we are seeing business owners struggle with employees not showing up.
She says fear is showing up first at work, people choosing not to clock in or worrying they could be targeted just for being there. The signs include QR codes, like she said, linking to Know Your Rights information in English and Spanish, outlining what legal options people have.
I just love the power of information and that's how it's being put forward. And that when you do know your rights, you're standing in power. And you're standing in unity with others who know their rights and who want to protect your rights.
So, Eric, how have the business owners reacted to this? Are they actually willing to put up the signs?
That was one of the more surprising parts of this. She said they expected a lot more hesitation from employers, but instead, many have been open to posting the signs, and that business owners are already dealing with staffing shortages, and they're seeing firsthand how fear is affecting their workers.
I originally thought employers won't put this up, but that has not been the case. Employers have been very happy to put it up, especially in West Valley.
So is it just a Salt Lake County effort, or is it spreading beyond that?
It is spreading, Maria. Buck says they're holding trainings and distributing signs across the state, including in places like Provo and St. George. And she emphasized this isn't limited to one political pocket of Utah. She says for many people involved, this is about humanity and community, not politics.
All right. Thank you, Eric. That is KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera. Do these signs hold any weight? Can they actually prevent ICE agents from entering a business? KSL legal analyst and the co-host of Inside Sources, Greg Skorda, says, well, not really.
Business owners who own their property have private property rights, just like individuals do. But those rights don't necessarily extend to law enforcement conducting legal activities. In other words, you can say, my property is my own. You cannot come here. You're trespassed from it. But if it's a law enforcement officer coming to serve a warrant or to do something for the public safety, you can't exclude them from your property.
Skorda says in some circumstances, law enforcement, including immigrations agents, don't need a warrant to enter private property.
Obviously, if ICE agents had a warrant to go onto somebody's property, they would have the ability to do that. But sometimes you can enter property without a warrant if you have what's called probable cause and what you call exigent circumstances. In other words, there's something more emergent, more of an emergency, really, that requires them to get onto the property. In those instances, they're not required to get a warrant, and the property owner would have to be very careful to exclude them from the property, because then that person could get in trouble.
So if you are a private property owner, such as a business owner, do you truly have a say over who can or who cannot be on your property? Yes, but not in all circumstances.
Property owners can exclude people from their property. You see the no shoes, no shirt, no service signs, but they have to have some reason for it. It can't be because of their color or something like that. And it can't also include public officials who are conducting their job, who are doing what they are elected or hired to do for the benefit of the public, including public safety.
Skorda says in the end, business owners and property owners have to walk a fine line between security, discrimination, and hindering law enforcement investigations. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or back problems, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we help Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And how about working more comfortably, like Dennis?
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it, but I didn't have a choice. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow's gonna be. It's gonna be positive.
You deserve a better life too. Stop in the Good Feet store today. We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Millions of Americans are exhausted and struggling to function as a result of sleep apnea. Nearly 30 million people in this country are living with the condition, many of them going undiagnosed. Many are blaming sleepless nights on stress, hormones, or busy routines when something more serious is going on. Dr. Kelly Gill is the medical director of the Sleep Center at Northwestern Medicine Central DuPage Hospital, and she joined me to explain why so many people suffer from the condition.
I always say it's the flaw of the human design because from the nose down, there are no bones keeping that airway or throat open for anyone. So when we sleep, the brain control of our airway is changing. So it's very easy for the airway or throat to collapse.
Okay. So I shouldn't feel guilty if I'm suffering from sleep apnea and keeping my husband awake?
No. So it's very common, unfortunately, very underdiagnosed. A little airway or throat collapse will happen to everyone. The problem is if it starts to happen too often, if oxygen's dropping too low, then we're going to say you have sleep apnea that needs to be treated.
Dr. Gill, how would people know this? If they're sleeping, how do they know that that is happening?
You may not. If you start to have too many signs or symptoms, so meaning you're starting to feel tired or sleepy during the day. You start to develop medical comorbidities like your high blood pressure starts to become out of control. You develop heart disease, memory issues, lung issues, breathing issues. That might be a cause for concern. If you start to have waking a lot at night, urinating a lot at night, difficulty staying asleep, fragmented sleep, could be some signs and symptoms.
So if we suspect that's what's going on, what do we do about that?
The next thing to do would be talk to your physician so they can document some of those symptoms, and then you can decide, should you pursue a sleep study? And if you do pursue a sleep study, do you want to do a home sleep study or an in-lab sleep study? Nowadays, I would say most people do choose the home sleep studies where you would get some equipment through a sleep laboratory, use it at your own home environment, and test your breathing, oxygen, heart rate, and test if there is a breathing disorder.
There are so many weird things online, so many different viral treatments for so many different things. What would you want people to really be aware of that they should be cautious about?
I think listen to your own body, work on avoiding too much technology in the sense that right now, our society, we have a lot of stimulation between phones, iPads, electronics. So, working on keeping a schedule, a time of going to bed, waking up as much as we can at a similar time, and not getting too involved with electronics, especially closer to bedtime. And I would say trying to keep our mind and body as relaxed as possible.
We see some of those crazy things, or I think they're crazy, like taping your mouth shut. Or, I mean, what would you say about some of these crazy treatments we could see online?
Actually, I don't think it's so crazy.
Okay.
It's not something I recommend to my patients. I don't tell them not to do it if they do. I will say nasal breathing is the best way to breathe. It is what we recommend to patients to breathe through the nose. How I ask my patients to do it, though, is to use saline nasal rinses. It's something I push my patients to do once or twice a day. There are a lot of great nasal sprays people can buy that are natural through Amazon, at your local drugstore, really easy to find, and just kind of squirt in your nose when you brush your teeth morning and night. Blow your nose before or after just to clean out our sinuses. And that's really a natural way of learning to breathe through the nose.
All right. Are men affected differently than women when it comes to sleep apnea? Are the signs different?
So men have a tendency to have more frequent apnea. They tend to have more severe apnea. Part of it is they are more muscular. They do tend to have thicker necks. And so they tend to have more collapse of the airway. They tend to drop the oxygen a little more. Um, women, they women will present a little more frequently with insomnia type symptoms. Men tend to be sleepier, more groggy during the day.
hmm So we hear a lot about the weight loss drugs now. Are those helping with sleep apnea, or what are you seeing?
Yes, I think it is. And I think it's an exciting future. Now they are FDA approved um, for sleep apnea as an indication. Most of the insurance companies are wanting patients to, at the same time, treat their apnea while they're on the medications, which really does make a lot of sense because you don't want to just be on the medication when you're also treating apnea while using medication. You're improving blood flow and oxygen to the body. You're also helping to stabilize hormones, which can be part of the difficulty in losing weight. So we want to do both.
Okay, so what is the main treatment for sleep apnea that you do recommend?
It does depend on the patient. So I do think it's an important discussion between your physician and yourself, and in the sense of how severe is that apnea, your medical comorbidities, your build and discussion. So I will say most commonly in our practice, it probably are the machines, but I would say definitely some people do look at surgical options. Some people might just look at weight loss. Some people do positional therapy, meaning they might just avoid sleeping on their back. Some people do the dental appliances. So it really will vary depending on the patient.
Okay, so maybe the final question would be why take care of this problem?
Well, we want you to stay heart healthy, brain healthy. Because when we have those apnea events, blood pressure, heart rate goes up, oxygen will go down. Brain is saying, wake up and breathe, whether we know it or not. And so that can lead down the road to high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, memory issues.
Dr. Kelly Gill is the medical director of the Sleep Center at Northwestern Medicine Central DuPage Hospital.
Traffic and weather together, sponsored by Mountain America's Visa Triple Rewards. An accident in Davis County northbound I-15, 650 north in Clearfield. It's over to the shoulder. Southbound I-15 getting busy and a little slow. And that's from 53rd South Murray to 106 South in Sandy. And the cleanup of a crash downtown at 9th South and 6th East. The rescue mission of Salt Lake restores lives of homeless and hurting people by addressing the cause of homelessness and helping people return to work. Help Rescue Mission restore lives. Donate at rescuesaltlake.org. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Do you know how to tell if a clogged drain is something to worry about or not? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I understand it's annoying and inconvenient, but sometimes a clogged drain can be a sign there's a more serious issue with your sewer main line. If the drains in the lowest level of your home aren't draining, or you flush a toilet and it comes up somewhere else like a shower or a floor drain, I'm urging you to look at this as more than just an annoyance. The last thing I want you to experience is a sewer backup. If you're a homeowner experiencing any of these issues, the first step would be to snake the line to see if it's just a blockage, which one of our drain techs can do for only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
This week's movie show brought to you by Sound Sleep. Get a free sleep screening and a free sleep consultation by tuning in on Friday morning. Sound Sleep with 7 locations in Utah.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
You know, most diets will help you lose a few pounds, but Soda weight loss will help you lose years. I lost 37 pounds on the Soda weight loss program 3 years ago, and I feel younger than I've felt in decades. And it's not because of how I look, it's because of how I feel.
But you do look younger,
Thank
too.
you.
I let go of 70 pounds in 5 months, and then I looked at the before and after pictures of myself and was like, wow.
It's something when you don't have to carry all of that excess weight around. And I was at a stage in my life where I didn't want to add drugs to my regimen. I wanted to reduce the number of medications I had to take. So the nutritionist at Soda Weight Loss taught me how to have a healthy relationship with food.
And it was so helpful that I could text my nutritionist anytime I wanted to for advice, which helped me learn what I needed to know so that I could keep it off. And right now, this is the perfect time to join, because if you join now, your partner joins for free. It's the perfect gift for both of you.
It's at Soda Weight Loss.
SOTAweightloss.com, because soda is, say it with me, Amanda, state of the art.
My friend Joey means well.
Always remember that the early bird gathers no moss.
But he gets a little confused.
You know, you can't make a silk purse out of a wooden nickel.
Like Joey, many of us can be confused when it comes time to plan for retirement. When to take Social Security, how to use that 401k, what about the stock market, taxes, and Medicare? Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management can help to simplify retirement planning. His goal is to have you walk into retirement with confidence, not worry, and to address the number one concern among retirees today, the fear of running out of money. Call Galileo Wealth today for a no-cost, no-obligation meeting to talk about the details of your retirement. 385-247-7000. It's 385-247-7000 or online, GalileoWealth.com. And remember,
one man's trash is thicker than water. Of course, water's not thick at all. It's watery.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Here's a good word for you. It's pretty descriptive, and it's Merriam-Webster's Word of the Year. The word, slop. Start Here host Brad Milkey has the messy details.
Every year, Merriam-Webster's dictionary issues a word of the year, something that's being used more and more often, and something that kind of encapsulates what our ever-evolving society is experiencing. Well, this year's word is slop. No, not like pig slop. Well, not exactly.
Slop was first used in the 1700s to mean soft mud. That's how I knew it, but it has evolved to something of little value.
The reason so many people are using the word slop lately is because of what we're seeing online. Low-quality, AI-generated content, often called AI slop. Now, if you're totally lost right now, don't worry, I got you. So earlier this year, there was a video circulating of this adorable bear, seemingly caught on surveillance footage, bouncing on a backyard trampoline. This video was fake. It was generated with an artificial intelligence video program. But the bear was cute, it was convincing enough, so it went viral. Well, then, it happened again. This time with cute fake bunnies on a trampoline. Suddenly, there's a whole genre for this stuff. And that's what makes it AI slop. For years, you've had humans sitting around thinking to themselves, what will social media algorithms pick up on? What can I make that will be popular? For example, you see a story blowing up about football star Peyton Manning doing something nice for someone. They create a copycat article. Well, the difference now is you don't even have to write something yourself. You just feed a prompt into programs like ChatGPT, and you can create hundreds of articles a day until something hits, which is why this year, the fact-checking website Snopes identified no less than 9 completely fake articles about Peyton Manning's generosity. Just computer programs guessing what you might like to look at, whether it's true or not. These stories quickly make their way to platforms like TikTok, where they're voiced by computer-generated voices.
Well, in a gesture of humility beyond comprehension, here's how Peyton Manning is winning over the fans yet again.
And as you can tell, the copy is often not well written because that's not the point. The point is that it is cheaper and easier to get a computer to write something false than for a human to take the time to write something true. Like lately, when someone's in the news, you'll notice that online bookstores are suddenly full of hastily assembled biographies of that person. That is AI slop. It's invaded the literary world, the music world.
After making an undeniable mark on the industry, Timbaland has his eyes set on a new horizon, artificial intelligence.
And the photography world. When someone posts a photo online of thousands of cars carrying American flags on an interstate and says, why don't photos like this ever go viral? It's because they don't. That photo's not real. Which makes me wonder, when we're all consuming AI slop, how does that affect the rest of us humans? A study from Germany earlier this year suggested that large language models could influence how real people talk to each other. AI systems seem to overuse certain words like delve. We're going to delve into this topic. Well, quickly, words like this have started being used in real humans' writing samples. So if you hear me saying delve over and over, maybe it's because I've been watching too many AI-generated videos. But others say humanity is not quite cooked just yet. Some language experts say the fact that we have labeled this phenomenon, the fact that so many people call it slop, the fact that it's getting its own new dictionary entry means humans can and do tell the difference. We still value creativity, we still crave good storytelling, and we appreciate a good turn of phrase, even if the stuff on our screens has reached a new trough.
And that is Brad Milkey on the Start Here podcast. Jeff Kaplan has joined me.
It's an avant-garde selection, I'll tell you. Good afternoon, 3 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Jeff Kaplan. We're at 52 with Hayes. KSL's top story.